crashing into each other, only 'cause it's all we know. Wanna fall into the same way we were long ago. And nothing really stays the same, but everything is gold.
승리의 맛은 달콤한 나카오. 하지만 여기서 끝이라 생각하는 큰 오산이 이제 우리의 차례다. 기대해도 좋아. GSL 시즌 2 The Coming Storm. 모든 준비는 끝났다. 아프리카 TV 프리거 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 2 코드 S The Coming Storm.
What is up, everybody? We're here for day 2 of season 2 of the GSL Code S, and today we have a non-Korean, an American playing.
But he's so damn good, you might mistake him for being European or Korean, even.
A European Zerg or a Korean. So today is going to be a lot of fun. We got to hop right back into GSL season 2 immediately after season 1 since we started so late. But the games have been great, and yeah, special already advancing as well.
Yeah, that was a great first day, and I think that, like I said, I think this season's going to be better. I was saying this earlier, probably on my stream or something. I feel like this season's going to be the best season of the year. I don't want to undersell season 3, but I just have this feeling about this season, you know, where it's like I look at the groups and the players that have made it in, and the kind of the mix-up of the new maps plus the new patch, and I'm like, you know what? I think we're going to have a good time.
We're definitely going to have a good time. That much is for sure. And we're lucky, man, because we're one of the only tournaments that can still keep going on, and we can still keep doing stuff out of our studio here, while everything else has been pretty much shut down or put online. So, yeah, it's good. Life is good, at least in this regard. This is the one thing we got.
It's one thing that's going on well.
Yes. Uninterrupted.
Yeah. So this is going to be fun. I'm very excited to see Astrea play. But I'm going to shut up.
I'm very happy about it, honestly. Like, I've tried twice before, and I've tried for GSL Super Tournament a few times before, so very happy just to get in this season, honestly.
그 사람들도 솔직히 다 올라올 실력이라고 생각하기 때문에 딱히 올라왔다고 신기하거나 하진 않고 다 올라올 만한 사람들이 올라왔다고 생각해요.
근데 뭐 봤을 때 딱히 신이라고 느껴지진 않아가지고요. 그 사람이 그 사람이고 뭐 약간 이런 느낌이라서 제가 GSL 16강을 뚫은 게 한 4, 5년 걸렸거든요. 그 예선하고는 좀 차원이 다를 만큼 힘드니까 열심히 준비하는 수밖에 없다 생각합니다.
저랑 맞붙게 된다면 조심하세요.
옛날 같았으면 별 생각 없었을 텐데 요새는 불안해요. 저도 끌려갈 것 같고 영장이 나오니까 많은 생각이 들더라고요.
내 미래구나 싶어요. 저는 뭐 할 수 있는 만큼 최대한 하고 가고 싶은데 과연 나라에서 그걸 허락해 줄지가 걱정이네요.
솔직히 형들이 군대 간다고 해서 저는 솔직히 그렇게 남일 같지가 않아서 저까지 같이 뒤숭숭해지는 것도 있는 것 같아요.
열심히 준비하고 항상 뭐 꼭 우승해야겠다는 생각을 가지고 하는데 지난 시즌까지 좀 부담이 심했던 것 같아요. 태양 형이랑 하면서 부담도 심했고 뭐 너무 안일했다? 이번 시즌은 또 작년하고 비슷하게 준비해 보려고.
I appreciate everyone who has been watching me for like the past couple years. I know just recently I've been getting quite good, I think, so I appreciate all the fans who've been supporting me the whole time, and even the new fans too.
요즘에 정말 열심히 연습하고 있는데 많이 응원해 주시고 많이 기대하면서 보셨으면 좋겠습니다.
패치 내용이 솔직히 저거한테 별로 좋지가 않은데 극복해가지고 저만의 스타일로 잘 극복할 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다.
라운드 24 다크 아스트레아 임팩트 스탠치.
Thank you for shutting up, Artosis. We
Yeah,
had
no problem, dude.
production's like, we're throwing the video on now. So yeah, this is going to be a great group. I think Dark is an obvious favorite to get out, but I think it's tough for the other three players who's going to advance.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you there. I think that's a good assessment. Like, Dark should be the big favorite of this group.
Yeah.
He's definitely better than ever in this group, including Stats. Stats hasn't been doing that well in the last couple of years. So I think it's this guy that should be taking this group down.
Here's the way I think it's going to go. I think Dark advances, and then it gets really interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Now, that being said, I'm excited to see what Astrea can do here coming up. Obviously, Dark is like the world champion, and he has to be favored against everyone, or it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, only people like Maru, TY, people like that, you can really be like, okay, well, maybe they can take him out. But
Maybe they can upset this.
yeah. But I do want to say that, like, Astrea is such an interesting player. You know, I've been following this guy and his play for quite some time now. And, you know, I saw actually, which I thought was a very cool comparison. Hydrolink tweeted out that Astrea kind of reminds him of Noni a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And I can definitely agree in some ways. Like, first off, both, like, ravishingly handsome.
Yes.
And very nice people. And here's the thing that really gets me. They're just, like, very, very smart. That is something that really strikes me about Astrea. I've talked with him a ton. Like, myself and Noah got made fun of a lot for putting so much Astrea stuff on in depth.
Yeah, I know about this.
Yeah, and they were like, he's like the third member of it. And it's like, well, his play is so interesting. He has such a cool, different style. And just talking to the guy and watching him practice some when I go over to the team house and those types of things, I think he just has so much potential. And I'm very excited to see what he has prepared for Dark.
Yeah, I imagine Dark wins this 2-0, but you do not want to count Astrea out. You know, we've known about this guy for a long time here in Korea, but I think for a lot of our viewers, he may be a much newer face.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
This is what makes StarCraft so exciting. You know, we've been out for over 10 years here with GSL, and he's one of our new players coming out here. Let's see how he performs. It's going to be tough, but I think he still has a shot to make it through this group. Game 1 is ready. Dark versus Astrea starts now.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해볼까? 드래곤 피닉스 게이밍 다크 박영우.
Again, the best part of the dragon.
알파 엑스 아스트레아 맥센.
All right. So, we see Astrea just starting off with the hatchery block. We're on Death Aura, so that's always exciting.
So if I could jump in just for a
Yeah,
second here.
yeah.
You know, we are very fortunate because out here we get to meet a lot of the pros that are trying to get into GSL. I know that for most of you that watch, your GSL experience is just the players you see on the screen, but there's several players that are constantly trying to advance and get in and just don't quite make it. And a lot of them, you know, really don't have, their stories are not really told here.
Yeah.
Astrea's been in Korea for a long time.
Yeah.
He'll come by the studio, we'll say hi to him. I've had the chance to talk to him a couple times, have a beer with him. He's a really, you know, I don't think personality is always a factor with a pro, but I think he's got the right personality to be in these high-pressure situations. He's very okay in his own skin. He didn't
Yeah.
seem nervous at all.
Yeah, that's true.
When he came to the studio, which is helpful. I
Yeah.
think he's probably going to perform pretty well. You know, we have a lot of players who do manage to qualify, Korean or not, and then they get freaked out because they're finally actually in GSL. You know, this
Sure.
thing they've been working
Yeah.
their whole lives to get to. Suddenly they're there, and then they can underperform. But I'm not expecting that with Astrea here.
Yeah, he seems like confident today to be able to play his best, and he thinks that that's probably not enough to get through the group.
Yeah.
But he thinks he can play his best, and I think that that's a great mindset. And I think he has a great mindset overall. Like, I mean, there's just so many small things about Astrea from conversations I've had with him and talking to him about strategy. And just like I've seen him, for instance, before his practice session, he looks through his notebook about notes he's written to himself and stuff, and about, you know, whatever it is with his games that are going to be going on. And when I put all that together, I'm like, damn, I wish I was that, you know? But it's going to be exciting.
Well, another thing as well is he's actually very good at chess. We all play chess out here, and he is. I don't think I've ever beaten him.
Yeah, no, he's
just one of these guys that's very smart, very on top of it.
Indeed. Well, one more ego stroke here for Astrea.
Sure.
He's quite stylistic. He plays his own way, and for instance, a bunch of the games I've seen him play, he'll do kind of interesting, like he'll go Nexus first sometimes, right? He'll go for Colossus builds when other people were not going for Colossus builds, even though that's gained a bit of traction, right? So I've seen him do very gateway-heavy styles in tough situations, and I think that kind of helps him to prepare for these guys. It's going to be hard. Like, you can't just play against any Protoss and be prepared for him.
Right, right. Now, the matchup PvZ, though, this is a matchup that can be pretty damn tough for the Protoss. It's basically one where the Protoss has to figure out some way to stop the Zerg. If Zerg is allowed to follow its natural course, it will oftentimes eventually be so big it just can't be killed. And so Protosses have become very crafty at having different types of pushes. The element of surprise has to be with the Protoss here, because if the Zerg can identify it, usually they'll be able to twist and turn and get back into a place where they can actually defend. So let's see what kind of opening we're going to have here from Astrea. It looks like we're going to have Adepts with Glaives.
Yep.
Now, it's not just the fact that he gets that tech, it's also how does he attack, you know, where do the Adepts move? Does he split them off and maybe do a warp it in the main? And it's up to the Zerg to just completely defend and lose as little drones as possible.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of times with these Adept builds, it turns into this funny game where you chase the Shades over and over and the Shades never complete. If both players are playing correctly, right? If it's like perfect defense from Zerg, and then... Wait a minute, what's in that Prism? Is that a sentry in there?
I didn't see. Does he have a sentry in there?
Well, he has one thing in it. Right? I mean, it could just be something as simple as an Adept. Okay, it is a sentry. So this is the type of thing I'm talking about. This is a very tricky move. He's added his own thing to this build, right?
Yeah.
It seems to me like he is looking for a situation where he might be able to shade up a ramp and then do a force field.
I think you're exactly right, Artosis.
And maybe that'll happen. Maybe that won't happen.
He might actually force field the ramp as he hits here. Is he going to do it?
Yes, he is.
Here we go.
And, oh my god, that force field goes down. The Queens cannot come up, the Roaches cannot come up, but is this actually enough to fight at the top of the ramp? Throws down another force field, does end up losing that sentry.
Well, he will have enough energy for one more force field, or no?
No, he lost it.
Oh, he lost the sentry.
Yeah,
I'm
got
sorry.
targeted down there.
I thought it actually went back into the Warp Prism. I didn't see that, but very cool stuff here. I'm loving how original this is. Now, 9 drones have been picked off so far.
Yeah, I don't know that that's enough. Like, obviously, he killed a bunch of Lings and everything as well, but look at what he's got at home, right? He's sitting here on 38 probes, which is, I mean, Dark lost a lot of drones, so it looks better than it is, I would say, but he's only had 2 gas this whole time. He is making his first Immortal, but it's not a great follow-up, right? It feels like he has to 2-base all in from here, doesn't it?
I would think so, yeah. I'm not sure if this is enough damage. He's got to be careful now with every Adept from here on out, because if you overextend while you're doing these attacks, you're going to have a pretty brittle army when the actual push comes here. So we have Immortals that are coming out now. We do see some more probes being made, so maybe he will just try to take a third, but I'm on the same page as you with what you said. I think he probably has to win with a push.
Yeah, no, I think so, right? Like, he's still trying to get some damage done, but it feels like Dark is kind of retaining enough. And it's not like we have anything that's gaining value right now for Astrea. It's not like he has 6 sentries at home that are gaining 4 force fields, right?
Right.
He's just making, like, brute force units. Here comes a second Prism. Like, I don't know. We'll see what he has planned.
Well, not a bad idea. Just takes out 2 more drones.
Sure. Well,
he
can't
have to
afford
keep it
busy, right?
Yeah, you can't afford to lose this Warp Prism, so we want to watch for that, whether it's during the harass or it actually is in the push. Ooh. In fact, this is almost going to be stuck down here. Now, is he actually going to take a third? Sometimes we'll see players throw a pylon down
Yeah.
there and put a probe, and then they just push anyways.
I tell you, he's got 2 prisms, which throws me a bit for a loop if he's going to expand. I don't think he's going to
Oh,
expand.
did he get a second prism?
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe
Oh.
he pushes with 1 prism, making it seem real, and then the other prism can do something in the main base.
I think you're right.
Not sure what else you would be trying to do, but look, this is a 1 sentry push, so it doesn't have any real staying power.
Yeah, he does get in there. Did he actually get kills on the drones?
I think he got 1 drone and a
Okay.
couple lings or something.
Yeah, we didn't have the ticker show up, so I wasn't sure if I was just not seeing that correctly. Oh my God, right on top of the sentry.
Ouch.
You know, you almost never see Ravagers actually hit the key unit if it's not a Warp Prism that's sieged up here. So losing that means overall, you know, the buffed defense is gone now in this push.
Well, he has made a Nexus behind. His probe count is like, it's reasonable compared to the drone count. And he has his 2 Immortals still. He's getting a 3rd out, adding some sentries now to his army. But, you know, this feels like a position where Dark has multiple options and Astrea really doesn't as much, right?
Yeah, I agree. This is just, it appears to be a game that Dark should be able to easily direct it to a win here. He's actually got such an insanely high supply now. If I'm seeing this correctly, I think Dark is literally just going to move out, smash the 3rd, and we're going to hop right into game 2. But I do like what Astrea did early on with that Sentry, that very unique attack with the Adepts coming in there.
Yeah.
And then blocking the ramp. It's actually a strategy we used to see a lot in the very early days of StarCraft 2, and it sort of fizzled out. But it did pretty well, and I mean, I think if we were seated against a player who wasn't Dark in this case, maybe we would have a different result.
Oh my God, look at this huge attack coming down right now. Biles hitting absolutely everywhere. He does use that overcharge. Let's see if that is going to make a difference. It doesn't feel like it. So many Roaches and Ravagers here. Oh my God, it's just way too much.
Okay, it's just going to be these 2 Immortals now, and there's nothing he can do. GG, Dark wins game 1.
Yeah. So it was a cool idea from Astrea. I think you have to make a strategy like that, take a risk like that against Dark. He's just, I mean, he's the world champion. He's a GSL champion. He's the scariest Zerg that you can find. And so to do something like, okay, let's do the normal Adept play, but mix in a Sentry for force fields, I think it was a reasonable idea. And a lot of times people will do a more Roach-heavy defense. That was very Ling-heavy. So the Lings were quick enough to keep up with the Shades completely. So there was a lot of units on top of the ramp when he did the force field, whereas if it was more Roach-heavy, maybe there would have been less.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I think it was a cool idea. And I especially like the timing, because his Prism got there exactly as the Shades were coming up. So, like, you can tell he really practiced this and had a good idea of what he was doing. It just didn't work out.
We're going to go to game number 2 now. It'll be on the map Everdream. Dark, the clear favorite, right now has a 1-0 lead, but Astrea is playing well. I think we, you know, Artosis are both in agreement that the ideas he's showing here are definitely very, very good. You know, if he could just manage to pull them off. But PvZ's hard. This is really weird being on camera like with this music playing so loudly in my earphones right now.
I feel like this is the music that I play
There
for
we
myself
go.
when I walk around on the street. That's my theme song.
Okay, the music's off now. So, yeah, I mean, Astrea looks good. I think we shouldn't be too shocked that Dark won and won like that.
Yeah.
I think that is the kind of strategy that you have to try to do if you're going to beat somebody like Dark. But, I mean, let's face it. Dark basically chews up Protosses and spits them out. I mean,
Yeah. Also, if you look at the group realistically, I don't think he did this, but I just want to throw this out there. I almost feel like I would have my very best anti-Zerg strategies for Impact.
Yeah. I was going to bring this up.
Because it's like, stats and Impact are much more doable than Dark.
And the thing is, that's a strategy that I don't think you can do over and over again, right? I mean, one of the things that's so cool about it is that you have the Sentry hidden inside the Warp Prism.
Yeah.
There's no way they can't click on the Warp Prism and see that it's in there. So to spring an attack on a player like that, it's really smart. It's really good. But again, the more you use it, the more obvious it
No,
becomes.
as soon as you do that one time, like Impact
Yeah.
is just sitting there, right? And
There-
if he glances at the game, he's like, okay, I'll just watch for that if I play him.
Okay, I'm not going to lose to that
Yeah,
now.
the Prism's coming in. Okay, I'm ready for it.
There are builds in a GSL that you can only do once, and whether
Yeah.
it works or not, it's been used up. And then there's build orders that are very safe and very conservative that you can do over and over again. But unless he's got something better. I kind of agree with what you said. I think it almost would have been better to save that for Impact.
Well, I don't know. Like, maybe if that's one of his better builds, but that seemed kind of like a cheeky thing to try to just catch Dark. Like,
Yeah.
haha, you messed up one time, I win. Whereas I feel like he might want to use his stronger plays against Impact, because you have to look at this, and if you want to look at it realistically for advancing purposes, Astrea's PvP is really strong. I
Sure.
think he has a chance against Stats.
Yeah.
I think that there is a legitimate chance there. We know that that's a volatile matchup, especially. And then you look at Impact, it's a kind of an aggressive Zerg overall. The games that I generally get to see from Astrea, he plays a more of a macro Protoss. So I would be using my absolute best strategies that fit my style against Impact more and mixing it up against Dark more. I feel like that would be a reasonable strategy to try to get out of a group that's very tough.
Yeah. I think we're pretty much in agreement that Dark is probably going to 2-0 here. Probably just going to move on.
I can't believe you would say that.
I know.
I cannot.
I'm very brave, Artosis. It's a very
believe.
controversial stance I'm taking here. But yeah, I mean, maybe Astrea takes a game. That'd be cool. But I think most likely Dark's going to win here and then probably win in the winner's match. And
It's hard to
very
imagine
easily
anyone
move
taking
on.
Dark down, really.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe Stats is going to kind of pick up as best Protoss in the world again, but he hasn't really been for a while now.
Excuse me. Yeah, Stats. His style isn't working these days. Stats is really on the very conservative end of Protoss players, very defensive. Oh, okay, we're ready for our game. Let's go. Game
경기가
2.
준비되었다.
Ha!
한번 시작해 볼까? 드래곤 피닉스 게이밍 다크 박명우.
Damn, we're having some
Yeah, we're
real
having lots of
issues
hiccups
today.
today. A pause from Astrea. We're going to have the ref come over there.
Well,
Look how
there's
charming
been
he
some
is.
issues with his computer today. He just keeps on having the refs go over there to try to fix it. I guess he got the dud PC. Here's the thing, Tasteless. When you have 4 PCs, one of them's the worst.
Well,
You gotta give it to the new guy.
Wait, that's not true. I think they all have the exact same equipment, Artosis.
No, Tasteless.
It's 3 PCs and then one's an Xbox.
Like, oh, it's an American pro gamer. Here's your
You're like,
Xbox.
but you can't play StarCraft on an Xbox. Like, yeah, but we modded it.
Yeah.
So it just runs. but
Didn't you
runs like
know
crap.
that Xboxes are better than PCs?
Yeah, everybody knows consoles are better than PCs.
Yeah, that's clear. Oh, dude, guess what I got?
What?
I got this game called Halo Wars that's like an RTS for Xbox.
I love how you talk about other games like, I got this game called Halo Wars. Like,
Yeah. Why? What's
You're just
up?
such a StarCraft microcosm. Yeah. How is Halo Wars? I have
Oh,
not
I
actually
don't know
played.
yet. I don't know yet. I'm gonna stream trying it maybe next week
Yeah.
or the week after.
Is
So
that
I'm
going to go better
excited.
than the Command and Conquer remake that you streamed?
It would be hard to be worse.
I actually had a good time playing the Command and Conquer remake. I
Did
was
you?
streaming it, but yeah, I grew up playing that game. That was like my first RTS game.
Do you like how when you tell like something to go somewhere, it does circles and goes backwards,
Yeah, that's my favorite
and
part
how
of
they
the game.
don't fire at
Yeah.
anything? And
It
nothing
reminds me
is-
of my Dragoons in StarCraft 1.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is good. Nothing
except
works.
even worse. It's bad. It's like
I-
controlling
I-
scarabs.
I went on YouTube and I checked out like competitive Red Alert
Yeah.
matches, like the highest level. It's pretty interesting.
Is it?
It's weird because there's so many different foundations that RTSs are built on, and there's like stuff that you. I'll show you after the show.
Is it just a bunch of engineers running around stealing buildings?
No, they make a lot of tanks. They make
Yeah?
a lot of light tanks and run around.
Huh. Cool.
Because I thought, yeah, the engineer is just the most ridiculous OP thing ever.
Well,
but
no, the little dude with the grenades is.
the Grenadier.
That guy killed my whole army like 20 times
Yeah,
in a row.
yeah.
One of them. It's like a defiler Tasteless, except you get it right away.
It's true. It's hard to micro the units in Command and Conquer
Yeah,
as well.
it really is. It really is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying out this game called Halo Wars.
This game called Halo Wars
Yeah, it's number 2
on
even.
this thing called an Xbox.
Yeah, no, I have this cool thing. It's like a little weird looking white PC that plugs in my TV called an Xbox. Yeah, but I don't have a keyboard for it. It's really weird.
No, it's because you use one of
Well,
these.
I have a keyboard, but it has like 4 buttons on it and like 2 mouse sticks.
Yeah.
It's like what I imagine
It's a
Protoss players
keyboard, but
use
the only
against me.
the only letters it has is like Y and X and A and B.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Very hard to chat with that.
It is.
No.
I normally
Wait,
say
you have-
yeah.
Wait, you have a PlayStation, right? PS4? Why do you not know this? Why look at his face when I said that. He was like, "Do I own a
I believe
PlayStation?"
that my wife technically owns
This is
a
like me saying, "Do you have a
PlayStation.
microwave?" And you're like,
Yeah, I have a microwave.
I think so.
No, I have a microwave. I believe we technically own one, but I've never played a game on it.
You have a Switch though. I know
Yeah,
you play
I
the Switch.
play the Switch. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's good.
And then, but you don't have an Xbox.
No, I got an Xbox for my birthday this year. That's why I have an Xbox game
You're
called
quite
Halo
the
Wars
gamer.
2.
Oh, that's right.
Quite
Yeah,
the
you were saying
gamer.
that earlier.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now all those jokes that I always make about Xbox achievements, I get to actually see it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know how often I just do something stupidly random in Slime Rancher, and it's like 2.6% of people have gotten this award. Like
I actually hate the achievements.
they're so stupid. They're so stupid.
Yeah. Also, in these story games, you get an achievement. It's like, well, I don't need the achievement. I'm just going through the story. You know.
Yeah.
If you get this no
Well,
matter what, I
everyone
don't
get this.
Yeah, everybody gets
Yeah.
this, right?
No, that
So I
happened.
don't need it.
I beat Slime Rancher, and it gave me the achievement. They're like, "Wow, you beat the game!" Like,
You know, there's people that are super into those achievements, though. Did you know that? That try to get like every single thing in the game.
to
I
each his
find
own.
it. I find it hard to go back and replay a game and try to get all the unlockables.
Well,
I feel like I
guess
beat
if
a game
you
and I'm
actually-
done
actually,
with it.
If you like a game enough, I have played so much Breath of the Wild at this point.
Yeah.
So much. I have done so much in that game. There's almost nothing left. To the point where like I look at it, I'm like, no, I'm not going to play because there's no point.
Yeah.
So I kind of.
But are there achievements in that too, or
No, there's no achievements.
Mhm.
Because I'm not a loser, tasteless, but
nice?
no, but you know, there's like there's all sorts of stuff you have to do, like quests.
Okay. Yeah. I was playing that for a little bit, and then I kind of stopped. Breath of the Wild.
You made a mistake.
I know.
You got to play it more.
Now that my hands are working, I have all these games that I'm supposed to be playing. It's actually too much.
Yeah. Just play more Brood War.
That's what I've been doing. I've
That's-
just been
that's-
playing a lot of Brood War.
That's the way to do it.
So what is the deal? This is the longest pause I think we've had this year.
Well, yeah.
So I've been notified that his hotkeys are not working correctly. So they're trying to get his hotkeys set up, and hopefully we'll get that fixed. Maybe we'll take him off the Xbox.
Put him on a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, but he can play on the good PC, but it has to be on a tube monitor. Remember tube monitors?
Yeah, of
Monitors
course.
with the backs on them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what we used for years and years.
I can't believe I would carry that to LAN parties. I can't believe I was actually willing as a kid to pack
I
up
never
my
brought
PC.
a PC to any place.
Oh, I go to LAN parties every weekend. That's how I grew up.
Yeah, we didn't have those in New Hampshire.
You didn't have
You
them.
lived in the big city.
the Kansas City, the big city.
How many people live in Kansas City?
Like 1 million.
Okay, that's as much as the state that I grew up in. So yeah.
Yeah,
the
but your
big city.
state's like you're from New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
It's a little tiny.
It's
state.
not Rhode Island. It's New Hampshire.
We would every weekend. I would get with my friends. We would all get our PCs together and go to. There was 3 houses we could go to. Sometimes do it at my house, but then we'd get in trouble for being up too late because I lived above my mom, so I was always getting in trouble.
Oh, you lived
walking
in the
around.
attic too?
I lived in the attic.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I was an attic.
We're
nerd.
attic boys.
We are attic boys. We're not basement guys.
No.
No, man. That's how you turn out okay. You get raised in the attic.
That's funny, actually. I never connected this. So we both lived
We
in
both
the
lived in the attic. Yeah.
above our moms and got yelled at for being
And
too loud.
Probably suffered some amount of brain damage from the asbestos we inhaled in there, which is why we find each other funny and nobody else finds us funny.
Yeah, that's it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Damn.
Attic boys.
Still learning new things about each other. This is how you keep things fresh, guys.
That's how you keep a relationship
links
like
us
this going.
To us already having this conversation 9 years ago. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't remember anything from that time.
Yeah, how many attic gamers are there versus basement nerds?
Yeah. My house didn't have a basement, actually.
You did not have any basement.
No basement.
We had a basement, but it was dark and scary.
We had a furnace room. And that was the thing of nightmares.
No, I have been at your house. You have a basement. I've been downstairs.
Well, that's downstairs. It's like a furnished.
I guess you're right,
It
actually.
has
Yeah.
windows and stuff. It's like half underground.
Okay, fair enough. You don't
Yeah.
have a basement.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you can't have a
Don't-
basement and then also have windows.
Yeah, don't you be telling me I have a basement when I don't have a basement. I don't want to be a basement guy.
We had a basement in my house, but it just had like a treadmill and the washing machines down
And
there.
day 9.
No, day 9, we shared the room together. We grew up in the same attic. He's also an attic nerd.
That makes sense. I'd figure him more for an attic nerd than you.
No, we were both attic nerds.
Wow.
So thank God we got this fixed. I hope his hockeys are okay in that last game. That's weird that it wasn't set up right.
Yeah. Stargate opener. Okay, mixing it up. I like it.
All right. So what kind of push are we going to have here from Astrea? I'm very curious.
I mean, this could be a macro build. We don't really know yet, right? Because it is a Stargate opener, and that is something that is going to very easily get into a third base, if that's what you're looking to do. So maybe a 3-base push. I wouldn't mind him actually trying one macro game against Dark, because Dark, he'll pull the trigger on units pretty early compared to other macro zergs. If you're playing against like a rogue or a maybe Rogue isn't the best guy to talk about because he'll just make a Nidus Worm at some point. But you know, other big macro zergs like a Serral or something, right? These guys will just kind of like be like, oh, you're macroing, okay, and then they'll macro and they'll out macro you and kind of kill you in the late game. But Dark is someone that eventually, a lot of the time, will just be like, okay, here's all my Roaches and Ravagers, right? Let's go. So if you've kind of like played the honorable path of going into like 3-base macro, getting ready for a 4th, you're going to be able to stop an attack that comes. You know, it's not like, you know, we talk about how PvZ can be challenging at points, but not that hard, right? If you're just playing regular standard macro and they attack you, you're going to be fine.
Nice movement here with these adepts, by the way. I got a quick question for you while this game's going to build up here. As you are a fellow attic nerd, I want to know, when you were a teenager, what soda were you drinking while you gamed in your attic?
Coca-Cola.
You were a Coca-Cola guy.
I was, yeah. Coca-Cola.
I was always a, well, for a while it was Surge. I don't know if they still have Surge.
Oh.
I thought that was the coolest drink ever, though. I was totally on board.
Cool. Yeah.
And then I was a Dr. Pepper guy.
Do you remember OK Soda?
I don't think we had that in Kansas.
Oh, damn.
We don't get a lot of the stuff that's on the East Coast or the West Coast.
Yeah.
We don't get nice things in the Midwest, okay?
No.
By the way, 3 drones have been killed off here. Everything going
Not
fine.
too bad.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. But you don't drink soda now, right? You're not much of a soda person.
No, I don't drink soda really at all, no.
Again, it's an attic nerd thing, you know?
Yeah, no. Attic nerds, they just, you know, we grow up and we don't drink soda anymore.
Yeah.
That's it.
So here's
you guys wouldn't understand because you didn't grow up in an attic.
Yeah, you guys probably just grew up in a bedroom like some kind of freak.
So stupid. Love it.
Oh, Dark, really good defense here.
Yeah, very nice. But, you know, reasonable harassment attempts from Astrea. Still flying around. He's checking out what's going on. Is taking that 3rd base. Still going into Glaives, though. So we'll see what the plan is here with the Glaives, right? Like, is this just going to be light harassment? Is he going to actually go into, like, something dedicated with this? If he is, he's going to have to add the gateways very, very soon. But look at his worker count, right? We're up at 51. Still making them. So it feels like a macro play, but yeah, that's kind of interesting, isn't it, with the Glaives? I'm not sure what to make of it.
Yeah, normally we have Glaives made earlier and a push coming here, but I guess he wants to add Glaives in.
It feels like a very old build, actually.
Yeah, it
but
does.
without any Phoenixes mixed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, Artosis. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's just
it does
kind of
seem like a build from a different era.
3-gate Glaives with pressure, right?
You know,
it kind of forces your opponent to go Roach.
It's crazy how much Adepts changed the whole way Protoss operate in PvZ. Talk about a unit having a major impact on the game.
Hey, not too bad. Not too bad. Running around with these Adepts now. Let's see what he gets done.
Oh, really good placement.
Hey! He actually gets in here. All right, gonna start shading out, but let's see how many drones he actually ends up getting. All right, his spine finishes up. Does finish this shade as well. Picking off quite a few lings. Look at this, double robo behind. So he's gonna be able to get into Immortals very heavily.
Astrea's playing a great game here,
really
man.
is.
He really is looking good.
Yeah,
this great movement here, too. He's going to be able to get some more of these drones. I love what I'm seeing here.
Yeah. And this is not that big of a commitment, right? He's just going into charge behind. It doesn't seem like he's planning on making any more Adepts. And I mean, once he actually gets some Immortals out here, he's going to be completely safe. Look at the worker count. Astrea's killing it right now, man.
Okay, once again, cruising through here, doing so much damage. I love how many drones are getting picked off here. Because, you know, Astrea's not really overextending in this whole process.
No, he's not at all. This is fantastic because he's just kind of keeping Dark busy, keeping that drone count in check. I mean, Dark pops back up and is similar in workers to Astrea, but Astrea's tech looks strong. He's pumping 2 Immortals at a time. He has a Forge going. He's getting into his Templar Archives. He's getting Charge done. Like, he's got the full economy going on. In fact, more so. 70 probes. This is looking nice. I'm actually getting nerd chills right now.
Yeah, this is looking really good. And this is a much more robust play coming from Astrea than the last game. It was smart. It was a really sneaky tactic he had opened up here that he disguised very well. But this time he's just playing a very clean pressure style, continuing to grow, continuing to build up. He's looking very healthy back at home. Again, I love the double robo. We do have the Hydrogen coming here from Dark. As Dark, we're getting to the point now where Zerg really gets to grow on the map, you know.
Yeah. And look at that, the 4th base.
Wow.
Absolutely is. Adding in Archons at the moment. We don't see Psystorm. We don't see any real dedicated splash as of yet. And that's the one thing I really do want to see out of Astrea, but right now what he's got is a very powerful army. And you know what, if he moves out during this transition for Dark, because look at what Dark's up to, right? He's like, okay, let's maybe get into some lurkers, maybe some Hydras, taking a 4th base and all. Like Astrea, I think he's going to have a timing that he can actually move out and do something with.
I'm glad we're finally getting to cast this guy.
I know.
It's been so long since he's been out here, but everybody gets to see his play now for real. So yeah, I mean, this is a steady macro build, getting all the tech that you want. Storm is being upgraded. We've got weapons upgrade coming here. The thing is, though, is that this is kind of where Dark really shines, right? Is in these insane macro games.
He is very good in those situations.
Yeah, so let's see where we go from here. But, I mean, a 4-base Protoss, there's not much more you can ask for. So we're going to have this push come out here eventually. We should note that at the top, the creep spread is really good. So if, unless Astrea cleans that up, I don't think we're going to see a push through there just yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's moving with 2 different sets of units, right? He's got these Zealots that are like acting like they're going to harass, then his main army down the bottom. Look at this, the Prism goes in the main base as well. Doesn't seem like he's going to get too much done with that Prism. I like this kind of roaming he's doing. He's trying not to overcommit, even though maybe there's a little bit here. The 1 Roach flank.
Ooh. Damn.
Yeah,
Those
nice
were 2 really big snipes.
Yeah.
2 Archons, that's so much gas loss. Oh,
I like the idea he was going for, roaming around, because he was moving in 3 areas. His group of Zealots, the Prism, and the main force, but everything got shut down there. It was very, very good defense from Dark. But the game is not over from something like that either.
No,
look at this,
it's
Astrea. Oh my god, is he going to go carriers?
Oh man, that would be just amazing.
I think it's a good call. Like, if your opponent's going to be going into a big plume of lurkers, that's going to be good.
Okay, he needs to stop losing these Archons, though. This is brutal. That's 4 Archons now that have been killed and have done virtually no damage.
But you know what? Like, he's staying pretty busy. I don't think he's going to quite get that. Yeah,
yeah, I think he's good.
That's too bad, because that would be huge to get that before Tap Talons is done.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be a lot of damage, you know, from those Zealots, but actually, that many Roaches and Hydras firing, it will kill everything very quickly.
Look at this. He is actually everywhere.
Yeah.
He's
and
also
by the way,
got his main army actually moving on to creep as well.
Yeah, up here on the north, here comes the push, and I see about 7 lurkers or something like that over here. Great size storms, just obliterates this. Oh my god, those are some of the best storms you could ever ask for.
No,
but is it enough?
Amazing. Look how many Immortals he actually has, but his barriers are gone. And a few units still come up. He just had a few more units in here. 5 Zealots would have helped him clean that and keep 4 more Immortals alive. But you know what? He cleans most of the army, backs up, and he has carriers on the way. Now, if he can kind of stall this out and get a decent number of carriers, like, that could be really hard for Dark to deal with.
Astrea is showing us the way.
He is.
I'm loving this PvZ here.
Is he the savior of Protoss?
He might be.
Well, Dark sees that carriers are on the way, so that's going to make it a bit harder. Obviously, Vipers and Hydras together
carriers,
I can't deal with it.
they take a long time to make, so seeing it ahead of time, and that helps out a lot.
Yeah.
Versus just springing the carriers onto your opponent.
Let's not forget, though, feedback back to its former glory.
That's true.
Looking strong lately, so maybe he can zone that out. Is he going to go Death Ball style with this?
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, the Vipers could be an issue. He has those High Templars there. He has the Oracle, so that can give him a little bit of vision, a little bit of spotting on those Vipers.
Okay, another base being taken. I mean, we're seeing some pretty crazy macro play here. I'm loving this. I just want to see if he can go all the way with it. We have another push coming out here. So with the first carriers coming up, and there's a lot of Hydras here. So maybe he can just handle this. What's cool about this is Protoss is continuing to grow and grow and grow. And we're almost having what looks like a TVZ in late game,
Yeah.
Everybody's getting every base on the map, and now there's going to be a lot of fights over, at least in the case of this map, the bottom right or the upper left.
I want to mention he's getting Blink right now, which I just find a little bit interesting. He's also getting the second Cybernetic score, so you can see that he's really thinking about staying on these carriers. But I think in these types of situations, it's really nice to have Blink, because if you get into weird base trades where the economy gets very small for both players, Blink Stalkers become very, very powerful in those situations.
Yeah.
And I've seen Astrea play some strange switches into like counter-attacking mobile gateway armies in the late game against Zerg in the past. Maybe not always optimal, but just something to keep in mind.
Okay, it looks like Dark's going to try to push away this army here in the center. We're in that phase of the game where they both have these huge, death balls they're roaming around with. I love the Zealot play, though, like this down here. If you can just keep poking out these corner bases, the Zerg is going to dry up before the Protoss. The Zerg has to keep expanding ahead of the Protoss here.
Yeah. And Dark hasn't been able to attack, right? He's kind of playing a very turtled style, so Astrea's economy is not being hurt at all. He's taking that 5th base. He's going to be able to saturate it easily.
It should be pointed out here, they're both maxed out, so the gas and the minerals are going to start to fill in here quite a bit.
Double Prism being made. I am just loving this. This is so cool.
So
Double
cool.
Spire over on the other side. This is
wow.
This is what I paid to see Tasteless, or well, being paid to cast. But you know,
yeah.
This is what I've wanted.
This is what you're being paid to see.
Yeah, no, well, it's been such a long time of Protoss is just kind of doing slight variations on all-in against Zerg.
Yeah.
And now to watch Astrea like just get a maxed out, sick-looking army against Dark, I'm having so much fun.
Yeah, this looks great.
Now, there's
very, very exciting.
There are infestors being made. He already has pathogen glands. I just want to throw this out there. Might we finally see for the first time the...
He just kept looking at me, but...
Yeah. Well, why is my brain just going dead? I'm like trying to think of this stupid name of this stupid infestor spell that we never ever have seen.
But Neural?
No, not Neural. The stupid cloud thing.
Huh?
Why can't I think of the name of the cloud thing? Never mind, Tasteless.
It's okay, Archos. But with this push coming in here, down at the bottom, he might be able to poke out this base. He's trying to draw some of the army back here into the main. And this is where we're getting to see Zerg really get squeezed. Like, look at the map. Where can Zerg really expand and keep? Right?
Yeah,
Maybe there's that one base in the upper left, but you're almost out of options. Protoss still has a very easy expansion in the middle of the map that you could take. Zerg can't really counterattack that and hit him.
Well, he has to fully push himself into an area. All right, so nice fungals going out.
Oh, harpooning those two carriers.
Oh!
Although nice side storms there on some of those Hydras.
Two carriers falling very, very inexpensively.
It's hard to push into this kind of stuff. I mean, remember, guys, spores don't cost any supply. You can get a lot of these things here.
It's so true.
We've got the air upgrades coming through here as well.
They're just getting everything. He's making 4 carriers at a time right now. He's making another Nexus.
We're probably not going to get it, but I would love to see where the minerals are being taken here. Because Zerg is going to run out a little bit more quickly than Protoss. That's one of the things you got to remember is when you see Zerg in the super late game, even though they've been growing faster, that also means that they end up taking all the resources from those patches earlier. So sometimes if you can just outlast Zerg, they don't have any more bases they can take.
Well, is he going to be able to stop the cost efficiency of Dark's army, right?
That's
because
one of the
between
problems.
Vipers and Infestors, and of course having as many spores as you want, basically.
It does seem like you get way more value out of Infestors than you ever do out of Templars. You know, if you look at just the cast units, but you know, Interceptors in high numbers with carriers, they can get some very good exchanges where they're really not.
They can. They don't really, you know, they kill stuff so quick. The DPS is so high, but obviously, you know, you're a little bit afraid of being yoinked in because the second that an abduct goes off on it, that is it for that carrier.
Yeah.
All right, finally Prism Speed on the way, continuing those upgrades.
Now this is completely worth it. If you can just poke out this hatchery here, that's all you need.
Dude, I love that they are literally doing everything. You can see the late game mastery from these two.
This is so sick.
Look at Dark with even the Ultraless Cavern. Like, are we going to see Ultras?
He just wants that achievement of getting all the second one Sartosis.
That's it. He's got to make every unit in this game.
Look at the great balance that Astrea has here on the map. He's got this main army, great feedback there. Dude. He's got the main army here pushing and basically locking the Zerg out and growing to the bottom right. He's got Zealots at the top that he's using to take out these bases over here. And then he's just continuing to expand. Zerg is so preoccupied defending.
Oh my god, that was amazing. He stopped all the Vipers there dead in their tracks.
So sick.
Just amazing. We finally saw the stupid cloud spell for the first time in GSL.
Now we have the carriers coming through here. And he's just forcing, is that a DT? No, just one Zealot.
Oh, that's the one thing he doesn't have, those DT tech comp.
Yeah, that would actually not be a bad idea to just get some DT tech
Look
here.
at that, the one Zealot. It's like, yeah, here, let's tax your multitasking a little bit.
If you don't go back and kill this, I will get your hive. Okay?
What a funny thing to think of. 20 minutes in, one Zealot going after that hive.
Yeah. So, Astrea's now taken both of these bases over here. I don't know about Protoss this late into the game. Do you want to try to spam out a bunch of cannons here, or is that...
He did make a fair amount in the center. I think that you do want some shield batteries and cannons up. I'm not sure exactly how many you really want.
You know, one thing to point out is that every time you see a spore made, it's another drone. And so in some weird way, he's really forcing... oh my god, hold on. Great storms and feedbacks there. And pulls away before losing any of these Immortals.
I like the way he's using these Immortals as well, because they don't necessarily scale that well into the late game. They can still break some positions like that, though.
So Astrea, weirdly enough to say, actually has more map presence than Dark. Dark has got this super powerful defensive setup, but it doesn't really allow him to move out on the map. It also doesn't lend itself that well to spreading creep. And so now we have this upper left base. And by the way, upper left and bottom right, it's kind of ambiguous which race is really supposed to get that.
Microbial Shroud once again. I make like 3 or 4 jokes about that spell every week between the cast and the Pylon show, and I can't believe I forgot it today.
This happens to me. There's abilities that I have my own name for, and if you're like, well, what is it actually called? I'm like, I don't know. I only cast Escape for a living,
This is literally the first games I've cast where I've seen it cast.
Yeah.
I've seen a few games where it's been cast by other players, but yeah. Wow.
So the Oracles are going to tag again. This makes it really easy to see, okay, he's got all that there, then I can move in with these Immortals, maybe.
Right? Very nice move. I like it. Throwing out some storms, just erasing things with the Immortals. Great usage of them. You know, the barriers come up. These things are so tanky. Just move in on the other side of the map. I think there are so many brilliant late-game moves being made by Astrea. This is awesome. This like harkens back to Neeb in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Where I'm watching him play late game, I'm like, I haven't seen another Protoss play such a solid PvZ late game on this
Fist of Neeb.
The Fist of Neeb, man. 199 supply army.
That's right. Oh man, these Immortals are getting so much value. And you were totally right. I mean, these things tend to not scale that well, but Astrea's really getting utility out of them.
He's making them work so well, right? He's got the Psy Storms that kind of protect them, and they're just bashing through things. And the trick is they're so far away from the main action. Yeah. That's why they're being so valuable. I love it. Those were he got so much out of those. A lot of times the Immortals at this point in the game, there's not much to do with them.
Well, what? This is kind of weird. Leaves 2 of those carriers back there. What happened that triggered this?
I think that was a mistake.
That did not look right.
Yeah, he you know, it's not that big a radius, so maybe
Does
just a
Dark
misclick.
not know about this Nexus in the upper left? By the way, Astrea never mined from this Nexus. This is like a placeholder.
Scouting nexus.
It's like a parking spot or something.
Ooh, nice storm.
Okay, I mean, Dark's got to be careful with these Hydras. They're not on creep. These storms are really getting a lot of damage.
Look at the banks. 10k, 5.5k against 4k, 3.3k. Astrea's got the bigger bank. He's got more probes. Obviously, that means lower army. He's got great air upgrades here. We can definitely say the same for Dark, though. He's closing in on 3-3 himself. Adding a lot of Corruptors in at this point. By the way, like I feel like we're really seeing some awesome late game play from Astrea. You can tell he's very good at this portion of this matchup. And we haven't seen the Mothership.
Oh yeah, I
So I
forgot
think
about
he is
that.
a -400 boy.
This is, well, again, I wish we could actually go back and check the minerals here. How much Dark actually has that he can still mine from. I know the banks are very high, but you know, generally speaking, when you check and see how many minerals are left in each of these bases, you get a much better idea of, you know, where this game can actually go, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Astrea has expanded on the right side of the map all the way. Ultras
Yeah.
are actually being added in right now.
Okay.
Ultras with full upgrades are going to do well against all sorts of things. Their armor is very good against interceptors overall. Obviously, carriers will kill them, though. They're good against Zealots with their splash damage and everything, and high armor against the double attack.
Right.
You know, they could help to clear out High Templars and things like that. Interesting to see him add them in. But as all the Immortals die, like, that's one thing you're never really going to remake, right? Once Immortals die this late in the game, when it's air armies, you're not thinking to yourself, well, I really need 4 Immortals under these carriers.
No, that phase of the game is not there anymore. By the way, really committing to the bottom right. Cannons and batteries. So, I mean, he's saying he wants this. So, again, we want to watch for this upper left area. We did have Zerg expand up a little bit further up there, but, I mean, right now, what Astrea's doing, same with Dark, is going for value play. Hold on, we have Dud coming in here.
Oh, my
And,
God. Does the recall, a couple left over. Everything is going to die that's left here, it looks like.
Yeah.
But look at this, the
Whoa!
counterattack. A million Zealots hit that top left base.
Okay, we've got Ultras pushing forward. There's a lot of cannons, a lot more Warpins coming in here. 13 Stalkers, which he can use to micro against this. Astrea looks like he's...
Oh my God! Look at this, he's going into Mass Void Ray as well. He is not switching back into carriers. He has a lot of Stalkers mixed in here as well. Let's see what he can do. A lot of defensive structures over here, but with this many Corruptors,
He needs
there's no
Sidestorm
way.
over here. Yeah, the Corruptors are
But
just
dude,
going to eliminate the entire
oh
air
my
army.
God, do you see what he's doing? Do you see that it takes us? He forced him into Mass Corruptors, and now he's going Mass Speed Void Rays.
Yeah.
Void Rays counter Corruptors.
Yeah.
So now
Oh my God.
he's everywhere with Zealots, he has his Stalkers out, and now he's going to have a ton of Void Rays to help out against these. Oh, as long as they don't rally through everything. Oh, no.
Oh my God, he needs to get more of these Void Rays before they can actually be used. The Corruptor
Yeah,
number is
it's
just
too
so
few.
high. Oh my
it's brutal.
God, he's going for the Hive.
Oh, he's not going for the
Done.
Hive
He's not going
anymore.
for the Hive anymore. He was going for it.
Oh, the right click.
Oh, the right click is real.
Painful.
Oh.
Small mistakes out of Astrea right
Well,
there.
things are getting crazy here. So much is happening at once. The double Robo is about to be destroyed here. Dark is still maxed out. He's been able to remake his army. You can see, I mean, there's plenty of gas and minerals here for Astrea, but it's going to be a little bit before he can be maxed out again.
Oh my God. High Templar auto attacks on Ultralisks. I never thought I'd see the day. He's going to throw down some Psy Storms here, but Astrea has lost so much in just the last few moments.
I love the idea of the Void Rays, but he didn't get them in high enough numbers.
Yeah, well, they rallied in and just died immediately. Now look at this. Everything he has popping out is going to be killed off by these Corruptors in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, I think that this actually is the end here. Even though these counterattacks are great, I just don't know that the Death Ball can be stopped.
It is very tough
but
here.
this
Just
was
his
an
air is
amazing
being
game.
massacred.
This is an amazing game. Now, let's not give up just yet. These Zealots are actually destroying a lot of tech in here.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
he's
a
killing
lot. If he can just stabilize, maybe. I mean, keep in mind, it's mostly Corruptors in supply, right?
That's true.
If
It
he
is
can
mostly
just like
corruptors.
only make stalkers here, maybe he can actually pull it together.
I think the problem is ultras and lurkers kind of counter everything, right?
Yeah.
You need immortals at this point to
Oh
really
my
fight
gosh.
this. And he doesn't even have his robos anymore, unfortunately. He is making a robo somewhere.
All right. He's going to recall those zealots.
Can he pull
The
something
thing is,
together?
Astrea has more bases with resources at them. That's an important thing to note.
Yeah,
Dark
that is
lost
true.
a lot of tech.
That is
okay?
true. And I mean, he's got very highly microable units. Remember we
Yeah,
were talking
yeah.
about the Blink Stalkers a little bit
Oh,
earlier
yeah.
on? That's something to consider, but Dark is maxed out. He still has a bigger bank,
Oh,
too.
he has to remake the forge. He can't make cannons right now.
Well, I mean, he's got a lot of shield battery zealots and cannons here, so it'll hold for a little bit till these lurkers come in.
Yeah, I think he's done.
I
Maybe,
think so.
though.
I think so.
Yeah. Trying to see what Dark actually has here. It looks like he can only make lings. I might be wrong, but we have 36 lings being made. There's still plenty in the bank for both sides, but Dark is maxed out. Again, though, it's mostly corruptors. Now, corruptors can take on buildings. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know.
He has enough corruptors, he could kill a bunch of buildings with those two. Yeah, Dark does have a big bank, but
He's starting to push here.
can Astrea do something still here?
This is
I
one of the
mean-
harder games we've had to cast here.
Well, it's such a bizarre position. We've never really seen anything quite like
I mean,
this.
that number of ultras is pretty scary.
It is.
And the
It
lurkers
is.
here as well, just the combination, like you were saying.
Dude, if he just had a handful of immortals right now,
Yeah.
I feel like if he had 4 immortals, I would be questioning much more whether or not he could do
Okay,
this.
I think this is going to be the final attack here. There's just an overwhelming amount of ultras. GG. But
Okay.
man, what a game.
What a game.
30-minute game, by the way.
What a game. That was a fantastic display of skill on both sides. And I gotta say, that if that doesn't give you the wigglies about Astrea and his future in StarCraft 2, nothing is gonna give you the wigglies, and I feel
You'll
bad for
never
you.
know what the wigglies are.
I pity you, frankly. I
You
pity
say,
you.
oh no, I was born without the part of my brain that lets me feel the wigglies.
Yeah, if you're sitting there and you're like, Artosis, why do you call yourself Artosis? I'm like, well, I mean, you don't watch StarCraft, do you? That's why you're not getting the wigglies? I feel even worse for you now.
I feel the wigglies. Do you feel
Dude,
the wigglies?
that was great, though. What
Look,
a game.
To
What a
take
game.
a game like that, he did that against Dark.
He plays a game like that against Impact, he's going to win it.
I mean,
He's
I
gonna
think
win.
that almost any other Zerg, he brings a game like that, he wins it.
Yeah, you're going to have to be one of the very
That was-
big-name championship Zergs, it feels like, to deal with that.
I mean, that was crazy. He had a really smart build for game 1. I like the idea. You know, it's intended to win the game very quickly. But then in game 2, he shows, okay, this is how you play a macro
Dude.
game against the world champion.
Tactically, he was completely brilliant.
We're going to a break. We come back, our second best of 3. Do not go away.
싱그러운 청귤 칠성 사이다를 만나다. 이런 청량함은 처음이야. 칠성 사이다.
성능을 대용량 배터리로 언제 어디서나 더 오래 즐기다. 72Wh 대용량 배터리, 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준, LG 울트라 기어. 듀얼 메모리, 듀얼 저장 장치. 고성능을 듀얼 업그레이드로 더 오랜 기간 즐기다.
라운드 24 다크 아스트레아 임팩트 스탠치 아프리카 TV 프리가 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 2 코드 S 더 커밍 스톰.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to go into our second best of 3, but first, I got to say, that was a really exciting game that we saw with Astrea. Even though Dark won, he won 2-0. Dark was the better player. Astrea is showing a really, really deep understanding of that matchup.
Yes.
And he looks like he definitely has a shot of getting out of this group today. Definitely.
Dude, that was so much fun. What a fantastic game he put out there. I'm really looking forward to seeing him play again in that loser match. But first, we have Impact going up against Stats. We have one of the cheesiest, most aggressive Zerg players that we have in StarCraft 2 professional scene going up against the ultimate defensive Protoss. This seems stylistically to favor Stats so heavily that I'm not really sure how Impact is supposed to... Like, I feel like he has to try to play a more mid-game, macro game, end-game type scenario.
I think you're probably right. I don't know if he's going to do it, though.
Yeah, his
you know what
early
I'm saying?
Rushes even became worse with the new overcharge, you know? So,
Yeah.
like, how are you going to... And this is the guy that's meant to stop that.
Yeah. The Stats, there's always a lot of different styles you can have with Protoss in every matchup. But Stats is one of the players that historically has really succeeded in conservative play.
Yeah.
He's the guy who expands. He just wants to see what you're doing first, and he's going to stop it. And then he's going to have better upgrades, a better army, and push out and win. Very different from, like, let's take Party, for instance, who's very aggressive, who likes to do a lot of crazy plays. Stats at Reign as well for a period of time before he switched back to StarCraft 1. These are the guys that were succeeding. Now, there was a period where it seemed like Protoss couldn't play like that against Zerg, and so Stats wasn't doing that well. But I think we're seeing a shift in the meta here, and I'm really curious to see what Stats is going to do.
All right, Death Aura going to be our first map, followed by Pillars of Gold, and then Golden Wall. All right. I'm excited.
All right, guys. Game 1, Impact versus Stats, starts now.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해볼까? 팀 LP 임팩트 김준혁. 아프리카 프릭스 스태츠 김대영.
Okay, Artie.
Yo.
Excuse me. I hope we can have a series as good as the last one. It's going to be hard to top that last one.
Oh, yeah.
What an exciting time for PvZ, though. Seeing that style of play. For a while, it was just Protoss just trying to end the game immediately.
Yeah, it's been that way for a really long time, which is, I think, part of the reason why Stats has had a hard time. But there's been a lot of Zerg nerfs coming up. There's been you know, a lot of changes made all over the place, and some little buffs for Protoss as well. So I don't know, like, are we going to be able to see Stats play some nice strong macro games like we just saw Astrea? I would love to see that. You know, I want the matchup to have that big range of diversity.
Yeah. Well, you want that, right? You want to have games that can be quick and crazy and exciting, and then games that can also be really long and drawn out and epic. So it's going to be fun to see, you know, all the rest of our games here today. Again, though, Dark definitely looking still like he's maybe the best player in the world.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
You know.
he's Dark. He is the best player in the world. We have to say that until Katowice next year.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
world champion.
Yeah, until we get a new one. He's going to be the longest reigning world champion ever, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's
Right?
true, yeah.
Because it goes from BlizzCon 2019 to Katowice 2021.
Yeah.
So that's quite a reign.
Yeah, he gets the
Until someone,
title.
Yeah. Well, I guess technically SOS has had the longest reign because he's had 2 full years of being the world champion.
Oh.
But they weren't back-to-back.
That's true. That is
It's
true.
crazy to think that that guy's a 2-time world champ. That's awesome. Dude, I love these acceleration zones. You know, I keep
Wobulas.
lobbying for it, man. I need to see like gold bases under the slow things. Now I want to see a gold base with the fast thing on it. Imagine that.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine the money that comes in off that?
Oh my God! Would they mine faster, or would they just?
Well, they
move
wouldn't mine
faster?
faster. They'd just move back faster.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. I wonder if that would actually.
Imagine if you
that
could
would
build-
actually barely improve anything now that I think about it. The speed up.
I guess the weird thing about it is that it might actually interrupt workers, because you know you can have 2 workers on a mineral and they kind of swap.
Yeah.
But then if you speed them up, does that actually just screw it up?
Well, they'll just get back and forth quicker. There is a little bit of leeway in there
Yeah.
between the travel time. A couple drones going down to the step pressure. Doesn't seem like they'll get any more. Yeah, it goes down. But the slowdown would be cool, though, still on the gold mineral patches. All right, gets a couple drones with the first Oracle, backs up. See if he takes the 3rd Nexus pretty soon here. He's throwing down his Robo.
All right, so here comes that Oracle out now. So far, this is looking a lot like our older stats games we saw.
Yeah.
I'm actually expecting him to still play like his old self, too. It just seems like... It's funny how people do this. We've talked about this before, about how StarCraft really is a game you can express yourself in.
Yes.
With
very
how
much
you
is.
play. I mean, you really do see completely different play styles, and at times they succeed over others. But yeah, Stats is one of these guys, he just likes to defend.
Yeah.
He approaches the game in such a way where, okay, you're going to come at me first, and I'm going to judo flip the game into my favor.
Yeah. Well, right now he's flying around harassing, getting ready. Yeah, there's that 3rd base going up. Now, I don't think he knows about it, obviously, but we see +1 melee on the way. And a lot of times when you see that, it's kind of a more aggressive type of play. If he keeps his oracles alive, that helps out immensely. You know, if you're trying to break something with lings, those oracles are going to do a lot of work. So some more drones, that layer on the way, Roach-Warren as well. I feel like we're going to see like a Ling Roach Ravager type of attack coming out of Impact. Wonder how that's gonna look.
Yeah, here we have Stats just continuing to grow out and expand. We've got more gateways coming down here. With the Warp Prism coming, that could signal that we're going to finally have some kind of harassment. I don't think it's going to be a push yet. I think we still have plenty of time before that comes in here. Maybe we end up with like Archon drops or something. We have the Templar Archives coming here as well.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be like very light harassment. I saw a couple of depths were left over. That's generally the best thing you can put in an early Prism like this, right? If you didn't go for Archons quickly. The couple of depths, you can do some tricky stuff with the shading potential, pick them up somewhere else, you know. All right, so as +1 is finishing up, Baneling Nest comes down, Spire going up, and a bunch of Lings being made. Now this little army, if that were to get surrounded or anything, I think that would be a really terrible thing for Stats.
What if they warped in faster in that too?
That would be amazing.
All right, so we have the push coming out here.
Imagine if things built faster in that.
We have Sumlings, looks like, set up for a counterattack. Now, this is a very tiny army here. It looks like it's mostly here to try to take out anything on creep. Oh, wow, 2
I love
hallucinated
the
Phoenixes.
instantaneous Guardian Shield against just melee units.
It's funny how often that actually happens, where
Yeah.
the player just reflexively triggers
Yeah.
that.
Just continuing to warp in, keeping that pressure on. It's interesting where he's standing too there.
Okay, now we have a push through the bottom here. Takes out the creep tumor. Right now we see Impact just trying to make sure he has enough to fend off this push here. But again, Stats just being like we always see with Stats, very conservative, not overextending. And here comes a counterattack. This is also going to be paired with a drop as well, which is headed towards the main.
Wow, that overcharge saves him. Very nicely done by Stats.
And Stats defends the drop over here from Impact. 5 mutas coming out and some more Banelings here. So it looks like we're going to have Ling Muta Bane.
Yeah, very interesting unit composition coming out of Impact.
If you get the right connections with Ling Muta Bane, the Protoss just dies.
Don't forget, he's rushing up to +2 melee, and he already has Overlord drops. So that's when you can actually start one-hitting probes. You drop one Baneling off in a mineral line, you can get 10 kills off that thing.
Yeah. So with the 1 muta out, obviously you never really just make 1 muta. So
it's a very rare thing.
It's a very rare thing.
Muta.
Just have 1 muta. So he's going to see that and say, okay, this is, there's going to be a lot more mutas coming up here. We have Phoenixes that are being made, but it's still a ways off. I know Phoenixes counter mutas, but you need to have a certain number of them.
Yeah.
To where they can actually do anything.
And he's not overdoing it though. He's like getting his blink upgrade, and he's only going 1 Stargate Phoenix.
Nice force field there, completely shuts down.
Yeah, that was a great
the
force
Banelings
field.
coming in.
+2 melee is going to be finishing up here, and I mean you see 4 Banelings being morphed right near that drop overlord. So this is where Stats has to be hyper vigilant. You can lose a mineral line just in seconds.
Okay. We have that drop ready here. I think you might want to save this for when an actual attack happens. I think if Impact just sends that in now, a player like Stats is just going to see it and stop it. Oh my god!
Oh, good catch.
Yeah, this is really good. And now you can actually pick up each of these Banelings. And, yeah, he takes that out easily. I was going to say if that
It
one
only
gets
takes
through.
one, tasteless.
Yeah, it only does take one.
All right, some Corruptors actually coming out, I guess, to help deal with those Phoenixes.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really have that many mutas anyways. More Lings and Banes on the way. Not sure what his plan is here. Stats is going up to 4 bases. Feels like a good situation for Stats overall. Like, I don't feel like Impact has done anything particularly poorly this game. He's playing kind of an off strategy, sure.
He's definitely had some good ideas, but none of them have paid off. I don't think he's like insanely behind because of that, but
yeah, it doesn't feel like he's insanely behind, but Stats has basically defended everything he needs to defend, and nothing's really gone wrong for him. And we never think of Impact really as a later game player rather.
Right. Oh, we got more Banes coming through here. Oh, damn, Stats.
Oh, still gets a probe. All right, well, it does get in here. Well, he overcharges the battery, but doesn't really do too much right there.
It seems like Stats is just barely going to hold everything here.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
Meanwhile, over here in the south, we have a push coming through. Oh my gosh, there's another attack over here. I actually missed this. Great observing today, by the way. Okay. It seems like Stats is actually backing up. I thought he might try to come in there and squish that bottom base, but there's a lot going on right now, I think.
I think he does want to squish it, but not as bad as he wants to keep his army alive. All right, just microing a little bit with these Stalkers. I kind of like this move. Poking, and he can always run back to his main army up that hill, and that will never be broken. All right, goes up the ramp. Oh, you do not want to go follow him there.
Okay, more links coming through here again. Stats with just absolute solid defense. Nothing is getting by this guy. And you can see Impact is just barely on the verge of dying to a push if Stats actually gets in there and starts taking the fight. We have 3 more Archons. I believe that's probably going to be the number where we actually see this army come down here and attack. Now, we want to watch the Banelings very carefully. When these big fights happen, it's really all going to come down to the Banelings connecting.
Well, it seems like he's mostly counterattacking here, right?
Yeah, but I think it's going to have to stop eventually, right?
This ball army that Stats is making is, there's no way that his army can deal with this. Look how many Archons are being made. I love it, because Mass Archon is a great counter to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at how funny that looks going through there.
Oh my gosh.
Sick force fields.
Okay, we have the Archons pushing down here. A lot of links are coming through. Great side storm there, although it's also hitting all of his Phoenixes, but I think we're so close to Stats just ending this. By the way, oh, great job there. Well, look at these multi-pronged attacks we're having here. Beautifully
he's just
done.
cleaning up everything
he's everywhere right now.
I don't know that he can actually kill all this. Like, he has a lot of units coming over to that main army, but this side army is stronger than what Impact has as well.
GG, Stats does it.
All right, a cool style out of Impact, but Stats just kind of absorbs everything he does there.
Yeah. Beautifully done. Just brilliant. I mean, I love seeing this late game PvZ here. Protoss is pushing out. They've got their armies split up. They're forcing the Zergs to defend in all these different spots. Stats is shutting down every counterattack. Every counterattack, Artosis.
Yeah, he really did. And that can be very tough. You know, there's drops, there's mutas out, there's Banelings rolling around absolutely everywhere. But great defense there from Stats. And that's just what he needed to do. I think that it can be problematic as Impact, because while he's a very strong player, he has a very specific style that he likes. He wants to be aggressive.
Right.
Like that game we just saw from Dark, we never really see Impact play like that. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Well, he's trying something different this time around here. We're going to be on Pillars of Gold for game number 2. Both of our players have now joined the lobby. The winner of this best of 3 will go on to face off against Dark in the winner's match. And whoever comes out on top there will be the 3rd player to advance to the round of 16 of the GSL Codex.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해볼까? 팀 LP 임팩트 김준혁. 아프리카 프릭스 스태츠 김대영.
I was actually wondering, did Impact play with a mask on?
He did game 1, then he took it off.
I don't know how anybody could play with a mask. He has glasses. If you got glasses on, then your glasses fog up.
Maybe he only breathes through the bottom of his mouth, like he, you know?
Maybe.
There's a straw in there to make all his breath go down.
Okay.
Right.
One little straw sticking out
Breathing
the bottom
through
of his chin.
straw. Passes out mid-game. Yeah, I don't know. Oh,
okay.
All right. So
this is
full
pretty
first, offensive hatchery.
Yeah.
The thing is, like,
offensive
stats,
pylon.
Yeah. Like, what are you like going full all in with this? Right.
You know what's I wonder how much of this was a plan just before he came to the studio today, or how much of this is just because of how badly game 1 went, he decided he needs to do something pretty crazy here in game 2.
Yeah, it's hard to gauge exactly.
Oh my God.
Oh, he's blocking every hatchery location.
Sometimes we get games like this.
Yeah.
If you follow the drone enough, they'll never get their hatchery at the expansion they want to take. Is he going to take this one over here?
Well, eventually there has to be a point of no returns for blocking hatches, right? Like, you can't chase him all the way to your 3rd and then put a pylon there, too. That doesn't make sense.
Oh, it's all right. You want to have a pylon on every possible expansion, Artosis.
Block your own 3rd.
Okay, so we are already way off of whatever a normal game would look like. This is going to be a different. We'll probably end up in the same spot eventually, but right now it's like this is already a weird game. Both players were building on top of each other's spots to, throw the build off.
This first adept is pushing back the Lings for now. Might actually get a little bit done.
Yeah, is he going to get a drone kill here?
Yeah,
All right, there we
it
go.
is.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Oh! You kidding me? Damn, man.
What you guys don't see is that we have electrodes hooked up to our toes, and every time a drone dies, he gets shocked.
Well, from
Oh!
the first adept after denying those 2 hatches, and yeah, man, 3 drones? Yeah. I got a little electric shock each time there. My toes curled on that 3rd
Yeah.
drone.
Okay, so we have the 2 adepts shading forward here.
Hold my hand, Tasis.
Oh!
This is going to be bad. Oh, my God. This is why you don't screw with stats. Look at this, 4 more drones. 100% worth.
Yeah, I'm really surprised because these attacks are pretty straightforward, right? Like we see the adepts coming in there, but he's getting way more kills than you would expect. We have Glaives being upgraded here. Maybe we'll have a little bit of early game aggression here from stats.
I think he should keep the pressure on. I think it's a
I
good
agree.
choice.
Well, I think the amount of wins he's taking, it's like, all right, well, let's just keep
You
the
kill 7
ball
drones
rolling
that
you know?
early, and don't forget his hatcheries are late.
Yeah.
Because they were all blocked, and he did an offensive hatchery himself. Like, yeah, go put some pressure on with the adepts. Force him to make more units. Look how low his drone count is, 30 drones. His supply is 41 of 30, 37 there for a moment. Like, he
Yeah.
lost an Overlord as well. Everything's going wrong for him. I'm not envious of Impact's position, Tasis. If you were to ask me, Artosis, would you love to be playing against stats from Impact's position? I tell you, Tasis, no,
Yeah.
I really wouldn't love that, actually.
Is that paradise for you?
Yeah. Is that just where you're your best self, Artosis? No, Tasis,
Are you
it's
living
not.
your best life if you're playing against this as Impact?
Yeah. No, I'm not, because you know what, Tasis? I was always going to lose to stats, but especially right now.
All right, well, Glaives is done. The War Prism's here as well.
He's got 8 Lings.
Yeah. Same number of Lings as there are Adepts here. More Adepts to come. Great micro, though, by Impact.
Yeah, nice
Pulls away that 1 injured Queen.
The Adepts can almost just straight up fight everything at this point.
Yeah, the Adepts, I think, are actually just stronger in this position here. Once these Queens start to get low, there's nothing to stop these Adepts here. Oh, barely saves that great transfuse. But again, with each Adept wave, there's just more firepower here. The Queens, a lot of times, are the only line of defense before the Adepts just get completely out of control.
The Ling's just being eradicated, and he goes up into main base. This is going to be very bad for Impact. The Lings can't hold him. The drones certainly cannot.
Okay, the drones are getting pulled away here. This is at the point where it could start to really spiral out of control. We see the Zerg. That's it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I was going to say that basically we're getting to the point where there's no way the Zerg can take control of the game at all.
No.
Right? There's enough drones killed. The Queens are already injured enough that they don't allow. Basically, when you see those Queens go down, that's when the barrier has been broken. The Adepts just spill in and do too much damage.
Well, the fact that he got 7 drones off the bat, like, Impact was already so behind. Stats had a perfect follow-up for that. The situation was dire indeed.
I am so excited to see this next game. We're going to have Dark versus Stats. Both these players looking very good.
Well, I feel like we saw more of what Dark can do than what Stats can do, because those games were kind of like, he put out a couple fires in the first game, and the second game he just punished.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like we've even seen Stats' full form here.
We're going to go to a short break. We come back to Winner's Match with GSL Codex.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
거기 들어와. 그 밑에 걔 잡고. 나이스. 자, 씨. 됐어.
미안해 로우나. 화났어?
아 잠깐 내가 누르면 안 돼. 누르면 안 돼 지금. 자 교편한데 무슨 소리야?
좋은 시간 되세요.
너무 많이 마셨다.
청정제주 숙취비법과 탄산의 만남. 숙취엔 가스강.
상큼한 복숭아, 칠성 사이다를 만나다.
이런 청량함은 처음이야. 칠성 사이다.
그런데 이거 벨시에 대한 대비가 너무 취약해요. 이거 왜 이렇게 취약하게 대비를 했나요, 박수? 이거는 이거 보다 쪽수 점수하는 게 낫죠. 보다 쪽수 점수하면은 안마다 깨지죠. 이거 안마다 날릴 수 있습니다. 해병이 들이닥치면서 깃발 꼽으면 박수 못 막아요, 이거. 네, 수호 방패 박수를 무너뜨리는 방패 업그레이드 해병들입니다. 그렇습니다. 물상원. 박수 완전 연주 완료전. 보다 쪽수 해병 못 때립니다. 그렇죠. 여왕이 되는 물상원. 물상원 1세트에서 비록 짧은 시간에 1세트를 따면서 1대 0으로 앞서가는 문성원입니다. 시골이 지나 끝난 타이밍에 양방향으로 한번 덮쳐볼 가능성이 있는데요. 박수. 굴러가죠. 양방향으로 박수. 자, 굴러갑니다. 박수 선수. 자, 맹독충. 자, 벙커에다 그냥 들이받는 게 나와버리는데요. 박수. 맹독충. 해병산기로 막아요. 해병산기로. 한번 달려드는데. 네, 박수 달려들죠. 자, 맹독충 공격조차로 점수하고요. 맹독충 소모 많아요. 맹독충 소모 많아요. 그렇죠. 문상원 선수가 다 잡아냈어요. 지금 황하는 전장으로 나왔거든요. 자, 우리 이거 도망 못 가요. 싸워야 돼요. 이거는. 네, 이 뒤로 추가되는 명령은 차원이 딜이 다릅니다. 이것이 박수호의 마지막 한방 펀치가. 체제. 문상원 1세트에 이어서 2세트도 문상원 선수가 가져가면서 2대 0으로 앞서갑니다. 이거 여기서 2 이상 피해 입으면은 희망이 없는 정도 단계로 벌어지게 됩니다. 3개의 저글링, 1개의 저글링이 남았거든요. 박수. 많이 잡히고 둘씩 툭툭툭툭 던지면서 잘 잡아주고 있고요. 정말 컨트롤 좋은데요. 갑니다. 자, 이거 막기 어려워 보이는데요. 문성원 선수 전지는 러시. 네, 이거 못 막아요. 자, 이거 수열로 가시옵도 수열로 다 살렸어야 되는데 못 살렸기 때문에 체제. 자, 문성원 3세트 마저 가져가면서 매치 포인트로 자신을 인도합니다. 자, 일단 벙커가 있고 건설로봇까지 달려가고 있고. 이거 들어갑니다. 이번엔 들어가면서 입구 건설로봇 제대로 하고 지금 싹 잡혀요. 그렇죠. 박수의 분노의 진규바시. 수비의 박수. 이게 바로 수비의 박수죠. 자, 모여있어요. 저글링 해병이 사령부를 그렇게 잡겠다며 하면서 감염된 테란 소환하고 있고요. 엄청난 수의 감염된 테란의 박수. 자, 일단 사령부를 건드리지 않고 그냥 건설로 보면 싹 잡고 있는 박수고요. 그가 상상할 수 있는 최강의 조합이거든요, 이게. 자, 맹독충도 박수. 피할 곳이 박수호 4세트 승리 3대1로 역전의 발판을 마련하는 박수호입니다. 박수호 들어갑니다. 자, 그냥 돌아가는 것보다 깨고 가는 게 나아요, 지금. 박수. 자, 도와주면 우왕좌왕 박수. 건설로 박수. 자, 여기 터져야죠. 그렇습니다. 박수. 이 뮤탈만 있으면 이겨요, 그럼. 그렇습니다. 끝내버리겠다는 박수. 여명에서 여명의 빛이 될 것인가, 박수. 쭉쭉 들어가시죠. 박수. 4세트에 이어서 5세트도 따내면서 3대2로 따라붙습니다. 교전이 좋아야 돼요. 교전이. 박수. 양 저글링이 필요한데 바퀴만으로밖에 어려워 보이는데요. 저글링이 좀 필요하지 않을까 싶은데. 자, 들어가죠. 자, 들어갑니다. 뚫릴 가능성 높습니다. 뚫릴 가능성 높아요. 들어가죠. 뚫릴 가능성 높아요. 뚫릴 가능성 높아요. 뚫렸어요. 뚫렸어요. 뚫리죠. 자, 박수 선수. 7세트 강의 1점 박수. 바퀴가 계속 옵니다.
3대0은 그것은 나에겐 아무것도 아니다. 왜냐면은 GSL에서 그런 상황이 아니면 막쏘면 출전 자체도 안 했었거든요.
그렇습니다. 야,
6세트
승리 득점 박수. 당신의 영광의 시대를 얻으니까 바퀴는 지금이에요. 영광의 시대. 바퀴를 이렇게 쿠페랑 때리는 거 처음 바꿔서요, 진짜. 동이 발기염에 박수 선수에게 박수. 6세트에서 승리를 따내면서 승부를 원점으로 돌리는 박수입니다. 네. 과감한데 박수. 자, 이번에도 박수 선수. 자, 굉장히 과감했어요. 엄청나게 과감한데. 약간은 무리 수고 있다고 보이는데. 뒤쪽에서 따라가야 될 생각인데. 하죠. 생각이 다르다. 지금 진영이 무서워를 못 들어요. 신규를 못 쓰고 있어요. 신규를 썼는데 감염증이 없어요. 신규를 썼는데.
우리 우주가 활약을 약간은 하고 있지만 이게 적에게 기소식이 아닙니다. 잡히고 있기 때문에
그렇죠.
문성원 선수가 충분히 역전할 수 있는 게임이에요. 이거.
그렇습니다.
오히려 문성원이 인구수 뒤집었어요.
문성원이가 좋아요.
뒤집었어요.
파이팅.
진규 두 번째, 세 번째.
자, 뒤쪽에서 무리군주 오고 있고요.
일단 바이킹 전면.
이거 문제예요. 감염증이 없는 게 문제예요. 감염증이
파랗게 없어요.
자,
파랗게 없어요.
문성원, 역시 문성원. 이 와중에도 확장들 기술 연상하고 있어요. 막히는데요.
문성원 막는데요.
막혔어요. 문성원. 네, 막혔어요. 무리했지. 문성원. 7세트 접전 끝에 문성원 선수가 우승을 차지합니다. 네, 최고의 경기였습니다. 양 선수 모두. 여러분, 문성원 선수의 이름을 끊임없이 연호해 주시길 바라겠습니다. 문성원의 최고의 승부. 아, 정말 뛰어나네. 마지막에 그 역전승.
라운드 24 다크 아스트레아 임팩트 스태치 아프리카 TV 프리급 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 2 코드 S 더 커밍 스톰.
Ooh, I like the song. Yeah. This is like kind of Inspector Gadget-y, you know?
This is something that we know, but we can't put our finger on it because it's remixed so heavily.
We've got Dark versus Stats. What a matchup.
Dude, this is the finals of anything.
Yeah, I think, again, it's safe to say Dark will take it, but Stats is looking really good.
Yeah.
We're having Protoss play late game.
I'm liking it.
I dig it.
Well, I can't wait to see what Stats can do here, because this guy is kind of the late game Protoss that we think of, and Astrea showed us that it's doable. You can play a sick late game against Dark.
Yeah.
Is Stats going to show something like that, or does he have some sharp builds prepared? I'm just not sure what we're going to see. And Eternal Empire, well, that's the map to start it on, because you never have a quick game here.
Yeah.
Eternal Empire is the epic map. If he does some glaives all in, I am going to just shake my head with tears coming out of my eyes, because what a waste of this map that would be.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I don't think he will. Okay, it's time. This is game number 1 on Eternal Empire. Dark vs. Stats starts now.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 드래곤 피닉스 게이밍 다크 박영우. 아프리카 프릭스 스태츠 김대영.
Okay. We're on the map that makes for epic games. Let's see how this is going to look. I don't think either player is going to play too aggressively, but if there was one to do it, I would imagine it's Dark. Every once in a while, he'll just get in your face.
It's such a good map for macro, though, and you can't imagine. Look at that, 28 and 28.
Wow.
Legacy of the Void.
That's so crazy. They're that even.
It makes sense, though.
Well, both these guys
at the tops since Legacy of the Void came out, basically.
Yeah, this has really been their version of StarCraft where they dominated.
Yeah. But I don't think, like, if someone all-ins, I think it will be stats to try to mix it up. The thing is, I think that this game will be very telling of how Stats wants to play the series. I know it's only a best of 3, so if it's very telling, it's like, well, there might only be one more game. But it's a map where the third base is so easy to take, and then taking the fourth base is not that hard. And it's very defendable, right? So if you're not going to play a macro game here, you're probably not very confident in the macro game, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of tailor-made. It's like the current Abyssal Reef, right? Abyssal Reef, just every time we were on that map, it would just go 4 or 5 bases easy.
Yeah.
Every game. It was the big macro map, and I feel like that's what this is currently. Eternal Empire.
Go!
He's dead, man.
You know he's doomed, too.
Yeah. There's no chance.
Aw.
He's a deputy boy. You had to watch it.
Here. Okay. Oh my gosh, almost knocked over my drink. Okay. So, we're going to start out with a little bit of adept pressure. We have the Stargate coming. We could still have a whole bunch of different types of games, but usually if you have a Stargate right away, it tends to lend itself a little bit more towards a macro play. There are crazy things you can do off of it, but again, I'm used to just seeing Stats play pretty standard.
Yeah, that is how he kind of made his name for himself. Okay, Single Ling actually just runs all the way across the map and in. So we will get that full scout off and see that oracles are on the way. Hey, 3 kills, 4 kills.
Yeah, again,
4
looking
kills.
a little bit like our games with Impact,
Dude.
where Stats is just getting in there and he's getting a lot of damage.
I don't mind losing those 2 adepts for 4 kills.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth it. And things are going to heat up even more. We have the Oracle coming in.
He's going to get 3 kills here? Easy.
Yeah, at least. Maybe even 4 or 5.
Whoa.
Oh my god, 9 kills already? That's so crazy.
How is he what? Is this just what Stats does? He opens games with 9 drone kills?
What's crazy is like...
What's your strategy, Stats? Oh, I kill like just under 10 drones. And then I go into a macro game and I kill him.
What's crazy is when you lose workers this early, it doesn't matter how good you are. You know, as a Zerg player, like, you are just so limited in what you can do.
What?
Are you serious?
Oh, miss micro from Stats. Lucky Dark.
Yeah.
He could have had 2 more drones there.
But already we're into 11 drone kills total. But yeah, I mean, even a player like Dark, no matter how good you are, those few workers at the start...
Oh, it's painful.
I mean, these are the building blocks that allow you to get up to the momentum where you can actually have attacks or hold off attacks, everything. Your tech. So, I mean, taking hits like this early on can absolutely lead to a loss later.
You see this? He's making 4 overlords at once because he got supply blocked.
Oh, man.
It's, I mean, this is a good opening for Stats. You cannot deny that. He's playing a very nice game. And this is really what I want, too. Like I was talking about with Astrea, but especially from Stats, because he's kind of had, since that year where he and Cyril just did battle everywhere, you know, we've been waiting for Stats to show that level again. And it's been fleeting, you know?
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to have him back up at the top of Protoss. Like, who's in charge of Protoss if it's not Stats?
Well, he was the guy who was in charge of Protoss. He was the president.
With Zest in charge, everyone just does adept all-ins.
It is true. It is kind of funny.
Look, I love Zest.
There was
He's
a period,
fantastic, but I don't want him in charge. I want Stats in charge.
This is a very good point. When Zest was dominating, everybody's just like, all right, so you make adepts.
Zest, yeah, he's the strongest Protoss right now. You can't really deny it. He has the best results this year.
I'll tell you something, man. Seeing this macro play come out here, we might see a huge shift in the whole way this matchup's working, because there was like a year or two where it was just the Protoss, these futile attempts of trying to go kill the Zerg and dying.
All right, flies back in. Let's see what he gets done. Only a couple drones this time, but gets out with both of them. Phoenix still flying around, getting some scouting going.
Okay, so we have a small push coming out here. Stats has been very, very patient. You know, with attacks like this, killing this many drones and then not doing any kind of dramatic push yet, means he's going to be in really good shape when this push does come.
He's not making Immortals. That makes me really nervous for him.
Well, he just started
a very weird-looking little attack that he's doing. It's kind of like what we saw before.
It seems like he wants to try to come out here with just the gateway units. He's going to have 4 more gates finishing up in a second here. And maybe just run over the Zerg, you know?
Honestly, he just flew a hallucination over those roaches. He needs to get out of there. He just doesn't have an army that can fight that. And if you lose this set of units, all the hard work you've done is for naught.
Yeah.
All right, he's got the couple of oracles sitting on defensive duty. And this is kind of the nice thing about this map, right? They have that small ramp to go up towards your natural. Other than that, you just defend at the third base. So he's got some good positioning of his units. It doesn't feel like Dark can break him. Dark has a big enough army, though. It's keeping Stats off the map. And a hive starts already. All right.
Okay.
And the Spire. When you see those two line up, you know what the thought process is.
Yeah. We have, again, the War Prism coming down here to the bottom right. See if he can get any damage here. I thought we might end up having some kind of attack on the Zerg in the 4th base, but it seems like right now Dark is just a little bit too strong for that to be worthwhile. It seems like, as you were saying, Artosis, Broodlords are going to be an inevitability here.
It does kind of feel that way, but when you do just kind of go directly after Broodlords without that middle ground tech, I feel like you are leaving an opening for Protoss to hit you right before, right? If they hit a sharp timing right before Broodlords, they're going to kill minimum 1 base. Forces a cancel here on the 5th, so that's kind of nice. Ooh, he better get up that ramp.
Yeah, this is bad. These things are going to get in the way. Oh no, the Archon and the New Immortals will go down. No War Prism in sight. And it's a mistake like that that can just cost you this game.
Yeah, that was some very valuable units that went down.
You think of all those drones that were killed off early on, and now I don't know if Stats is going to have the muscle for at least a little while to try to push out. Immortals and Archons are the most important part of those pushes.
It's so true. It really is. And when you're facing down a Greater Spire that's on the way, feels like you really want to have your army together. You really want to hit that very powerful attack.
Yeah, you want to hit them before they get that tech up, and now that's been delayed.
You're massively outscaling the man who has just pure Roach. You know, he's sitting there with mostly Roaches, some Lynx, a couple Ravagers.
Oh my God.
If you can just keep your units together, you're gonna massacre the army eventually.
All right, an easy denial here, and I don't even know if Stats wants to take this fight. I mean, this is not a lot. Oh my God, there's Roaches counterattacking here as well. And we have this Zealot attack over here. I don't know if this is going to match the damage that's already being inflicted here by Dark. Oh my God, that's the 2nd Oracle that's died to Ravager's Corrosive Vial.
Looks like he's pretty busy elsewhere. 10 Corruptors on the way, though.
Yeah.
And I think that this is going to do a good job against Stats. He doesn't really have the army together to fight this, and it has a lot to do with the units that he's hemorrhaged. Would you rather have 3 Immortals and no Archons, or some Archons and 5 Immortals?
I'd go with the second one. Sounds a little bit better.
Yeah.
This is brutal. Well, hold on a second, though. We're going to have Stats push out. Now, the supplies alone don't look very good here, right? It's 184 to 139, but I just don't even know.
But it's Roach heavy supply right now. It's Crupper heavy.
That's true, but I mean, this is a big enough difference, right? Where I think the Roaches are still a threat.
Yeah.
The 4th is being taken, though.
broods are being made.
But when these broodlords are out, you just can't attack into where the broodlords are.
Well, you need a lot of damage output to actually clear the roaches, because once you clear the ground army, you actually can blink under broods and kill them. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
It is doable. You can counter them with this, but with just the size of the army of Dark, look at this, 150 supply to 200. He's got more than 40 more army supply. The Stalkers aren't going to do it here. Absolutely not.
Another storm here. Broodlord's continuing to push up. Oh my gosh. All right, we have more Biles shot forward here. The Broodlord's continuing to push here. Now, again, you know, this is one of the funny things about when you get Broodlords out is suddenly the Zerg is the slowest race. You know, everything else for Zerg is just quick counterattacks, but you kind of have to escort the Broodlords with the rest of your army. And this is where counterattacks like this one are actually very strong.
Actually, quite a few roaches kept back to defend against this. I feel like that's, when you see that big of a roach army over here, I would almost want to look.
On the broods?
Yeah, see if I can kill the broods then. Because look, this is not that many units. He's going to kill these. This is not that hard to kill.
Yeah, no, you're completely right, especially with Stalkers sitting on both sides. I think one more blink, and you can just, yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Ooh, those storms, though. Is there a knurl somewhere on those High Templars?
Well, you know, the broods are gone now. I'm a little bit surprised that of all players, Dark would have invested in those broods and then managed to squander them like that.
Well, he just left so many units at home to stop the counterattack.
Yeah.
But it did, I mean, it's kind of a funny, weird situation because Stats had so many Stalkers as well. He might not have been expecting that, right? If that's a more Zealot-heavy army, if he has half as many Stalkers, he actually doesn't clear that.
So, I don't know. I mean, I feel like right now Dark's in a weird spot tech-wise, but you can see there's so many roaches here, I don't even know if it mattered. I mean, this is one of the reasons why Dark is so good. Look at this. There's a never-ending line of roaches just coming up here. And again, right now, Stats needs this fourth base.
Well,
Dark
he's
needs to
at
spin as
least
well.
eliminating a base right there. So
He's going to get the Immortal here, too.
But yeah, you're quite right. Losing this base for Stats is painful indeed.
You know, when you lose all your Immortals, if you're on one Robo, it's like, it's a huge reset in the game, you know? I mean, Dark right now is basically, barely winning every single fight. Great game by Dark. Again, now this is why Dark is the world champion. Even though Stats killed, I think it was 11 drones.
Yeah.
Like, which is just a jaw-droppingly high number to lose, right? A lot of times you'll just lose one or two drones too many and it's almost impossible to come back against a pro. But Dark is just so robust. Even when he lost the Broodlords, it didn't really matter because he just had so much. A lot of this, I think, came down to these subtle moments where Stats would lose an Archon here, an Immortal there.
Lost a couple of Oracles pretty cheaply, lost a couple Archons, lost a couple of Immortals. You're right.
Overall,
those are really important parts.
Sloppier game here for Stats.
If you look at all these engagements and add 2 Immortals and 2 Archons to all of them, suddenly Stats is crushing these fights that he's barely winning.
We're going to go to map number 2. That's on Death Aura. Dark versus Stats. Dark with a 1-0 lead. Stats, one of the greatest Protosses of all time, but Dark is in his prime. He is the world champion 2019. And right now it's looking like he could be the GSL Season 2 champion with how he's playing. Our game is loaded up. Let's see what happens.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해볼까?
Okay.
Nice.
12 pool. All right, let's do it.
Nice.
Let's see if Stats makes a gas. Oh no, his probe's coming.
Ready?
Good sound effects.
Thank you.
You're like that guy from Police Academy.
Oh yeah, where that show's probably so old that only you and me are gonna know that joke. But yeah, sound effect.
There's a bunch of oldies that watch this.
Yeah.
Police Academy is great though. I love that.
Yeah,
love
I actually like that type of
movies.
humor. Yeah, that kind of over the top, and it's like really dumb.
Yeah.
Austin Powers, like I love that.
Sure. Yeah.
Dumb humor. So there's Sixlings coming right away. Dark is one of the players who does this kind of stuff, by the way.
Yeah.
Aha!
He's going to see these things pop out. Oh, there it is.
Yep. He immediately. Oh, I like it. How are you
Cool.
gonna wall now?
Oh, that's
He's
neat.
like this, Tasus. I'm like, okay, sorry, I didn't know.
So hold on.
Wait, no, what?
What does this
What does
actually...
he want to do?
How does this...
Do you try to cancel the hatch, or do you want it to finish? And
Okay, so
I don't
if the
actually-
Zealot pops out on the inside and you full wall, then you kill the gate, and yeah,
I'm actually,
you just attack the gate here. Yeah,
look at this,
look at that.
guys.
Dark walled stats in and is killing his gateway.
I think the ladder's going to be ruined for a lot of people this week. All right, so he's going to try to sandbag this. And the problem,
this is incredibly interesting.
So wait, what is he making now? A gate and a battery.
He's
But
trying to chrono that
this-
out so hard, but it's not coming out.
never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
So do you want the hatch to finish here?
That's an interesting question.
I don't actually know. It seems like with the battery here, these links can't do much, right? But maybe you
Wow.
make a queen. Okay, he is making a queen.
Oh, wow.
All right, now the battery's going to finish, but the battery can't heal itself.
Yeah, that's a
So,
really
like-
good point. Yeah, he's just targeting down the battery now.
Okay, so that...
And now the Ling's going to the main base. More Lings are going to be on the way.
I think the queen is barely going to get out. Now the probes in the main can't be defended. What an unusual strategy. This is so cool.
This is really cool. I've never seen this.
One of the trickier games we've had to cast here. You know, the queen, I think that's going to get out, man.
Yeah, it does look...
Is that...
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and now with the queen here, you have this range attack all of a sudden, which can completely abuse the zealots. Even with a battery, there's not going to be that much energy
And look
here.
how much the Lings in the main base are doing.
Yeah.
Oh, the probe's actually getting some good surrounding on those Lings.
This is a great zoom by our observer here, by the way.
Yeah.
Look at this. We're really getting to just see everything.
Absolutely. Well, he lost the Lings in the main, so I think that was definitely a misplay from Dark. No question there.
Well, there's a lot going on here. There is an adept out. I think these batteries are almost dried up here.
Yeah, they certainly are.
The link count, though, is getting lower. I think he's going to try to actually pin this queen over here, but...
Well, I think it definitely would be a good call if he can get the queen out, because queen is adding such steady damage here.
Yeah, there's only 12 drones right now compared to the 24 here. But I think we're at the brink where this is just going to be broken. By the way, Warp Gate is done.
Finishing,
Warp
yeah.
Gate's done, but there's still an adept making, so he can't turn it
that's
into
his
a Warp
only
Gate.
gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. But he will be able to up by 2 units momentarily here.
Yeah, but the thing is, the second half is also still alive, right? So,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I think you just kill the gateway, right? Or you can kill the
Well-
cybernetic score, and then it's just zealots warping in. By the way, this adept is not shade away.
Ouch. Yeah, I think Stats is going to die.
Yeah. By the way, there's
He just
500
doesn't have the
minerals.
damage output.
Yeah, yeah. Dark with cool kit points here with this build.
For sure. Stats doesn't look too pleased right now.
What a crazy game. Yeah, I think he did it. I think there's no way to recover now. It's just, what, one adept over here. There's batteries coming down, but by the way, Dark is making drones behind this. But I actually don't even know if we're going to go into a game that's going to be late. I mean, how do you even...
Even though the drone count has been so low for so long, just the fact that you have to clear all this creep and he has 2 batteries at home, Dark is going to get way ahead. One base Protoss can't do anything.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything that a one base Protoss can do other than make a Nexus?
No, I mean, it's you need to get out there and expand, and that's why Protoss just have to master the early game against Dark. But Dark came in here with this really crazy strategy. It looks like something No Regret would do. And
It looks like something that Impact is writing the build order down for right now.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I gotta say, it's pretty impressive that this is being held as well as it is, but...
Oops.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to think how precious every single adept is here.
Well, I think from here he's probably going to get a Prism and just kind of go all in with the depths, right?
Which is fine, I guess.
You have to try to deal counter damage, and there's no link speed.
That's a good point. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, if there was link speed, this would already be over.
Yeah.
But you can kind of micro against, you know, no link speed.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Seth's feeling like he might have some sort of shot. I like the pre-shades that he's doing, by the way. This is really, really good from Stats. I was trying to clean it up. Glaives on the way. Yeah, I think he's giving himself the best shot he can think of.
Now, if he wins this, I mean, that would be the craziest thing ever. But the thing is,
I just at the last second. Perfectly done.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Stark just getting the absolute value out of everything. I'm like, can you get a probe? Can you do that? I don't know. At least he gets a scout off here. Okay, so, you know, I do believe that this build, if done correctly by Dark, we're already supposed to be at GG, right? I don't think this is one where you just try to do a lot of damage and then play a macro game, but let's see what happens now.
Well, he's going to have glaives.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, he's walled in, Dark has, so it's not like you can really do much of anything out here.
Does he have the prism on the way?
I don't know. Did he get one?
Yeah, he does. He has a prism on the way right now.
There it is.
So as that prism comes up, the wall doesn't really do anything. There are a lot of adepts out. Glaives is about to finish. What's the army look like for Dark? It's not super good.
Okay,
yeah, I mean, that's scary.
He can elevator this up into the main if he wants. I guess he wants to try to just bust the spine. Do we have any transfuses? I guess not.
Okay, well, he busts the wall, so he can now start shading past. The glaive's really paying off right now.
Yeah, no kidding. The Warp Prism micro is so important here. Let's also keep in mind, if the Warp Prism is ever picked off, this rush will end. I think, okay, he doesn't commit. Now, he's getting the Roach Warren.
Yeah, that's
what was intended to be a part of the wall is now a very easy target. And, I mean, you want Roaches here, not Lings, so a Roach Warren's being remade here. Even though there's not a whole lot that Zerg needs to defend, it seems like there might be enough adepts. This is so crazy. Look at this. He can cancel it any time he wants. It pulls away everything. I think the next target might even be the hatchery. Maybe the drones?
I think he just attacks anything coming down and does, right? Like, just target as best you can, get your damage out there, because you have to keep the pressure on here. Oh my god, he actually does shade in, gets the queen. He's going to pick up these 3 roaches quickly.
This means some of that army's pinned in there, but it looks like he's timed this out enough where there's going to be a shade out.
What an amazing game from Stats here.
Oh,
wow, wow.
That's so sick. Wow.
Dude.
What a
Look
game.
at Stats' smile. That really looked like he was not going to be able to come back.
That's
he had
so
one damage to depth. He was down to 1 damage to depth at one point there. Lost his footing at his natural, lost all those buildings. No problem. Come right back.
What a game, man. That's like a 1 in a million games that we get here in GSL. That was just something really special.
Yeah, well, tonight is just amazing games overall. I told you this is going to be a great season.
You were right.
I don't even want to cast Season 3. This is where I'm at.
Going to end GSL with this one. Everdream is map number 3. Now, Stats won in a very abstract game, but I imagine Dark is going to go right back into more standard play. And then we got to see how Stats can fare. Maybe Stats does some kind of crazy rush, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
know what they're going to do.
Huh. All right.
All right, our game's ready. Game 3, Dark for Stats. Let's do this.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 드래곤 피닉스 게이밍 다크라 박명호 아프리카 프릭스 스태츠 김대영
So, denies that hatchery placement. Pretty standard early game thus far. You think Stats might have an all-in planned, or?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, one thing about that game we just saw is that's, you know, a once-in-a-lifetime kind of game,
You have
right?
to do that all off the cuff.
Yeah,
that can't be planned out by Stats.
Yeah, that's like Stats basically getting surprised by the hatchery and then panicking, and via his instinct and intuition, he just manages to hold it and then does a brilliant counterattack with good control and wins. But I don't think that necessarily shows that Stats could, this time around, do some kind of really crazy all-in to make it work. But I also think that still in game number 1, it's fresh in Stats' mind that Dark is overall a better late game player. And if you're really against a player who's better overall at late game, obviously you want to try to improve on your own late game and you know, maybe eventually overcome that. But in a tournament moment like this, a lot of times players rush.
Yeah.
Say I can't beat him in that kind of game, so I'll play by a different set of parameters and maybe I'll win that way.
Sure. Well, we'll see what Stats has planned here. It's kind of funny that we're excited about what these Protoss players have planned, but as far as Dark goes, it's like he's so good that we're just sitting here like, okay, well, let's see if you hold whatever's
Look at that crazy game that Dark just did back there. He's just
awesome.
been sitting on that build for a while.
Yeah.
Says, all right.
12 pool, hatch to block, kill the gate.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's a cool idea.
Yeah. Really smart stuff. Okay, so for now, we have the Robo coming here.
Part of the wall.
Twilight Council as well. I'm sorry, he skipped Stargate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Could just be an Archon drop. It could be, you know, just into Glaives, but I feel like that would have been started. Okay, there it is.
Oh, there it is. Okay, Glaives is coming here. Now, again, I feel like if you're going to be one of the best Zergs of all time, or in this case, the former world champion, you're very good at holding off a depth pressure. There's no way you can get to that type of title, a world champion, without having so much experience with this. So let's see if there's something new that Stats has added into this that might make it a little bit more interesting. In a weird way, in the losers part of this group, you have to imagine the players are thinking, okay, Dark, please win this and go on. Since right now, Dark is viewed as one of the most dangerous players to go against. Even though Stats is very good. I think if you're a pro gamer, you'd prefer to have a game here against Stats over a game against Dark.
Yeah.
Right?
Dark is probably the last person you really want to face.
Right.
Maybe TY, because he's the latest champion, right?
Right,
Something
right.
Like that. All right, let it begin. Here we go, gonna be up on port gates. Plenty of lings being made by Dark here. Speed is on the way. Roach 1 coming up. Time to warp in. And it should be that dance that we are quite used to at this point.
We're all too familiar with here. He's going to shade in there. We're going to have it cancel here. If he doesn't cancel, it's suicide.
And
And
you lose the game if you don't cancel that.
Yeah, and you know, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of areas that you can try to attack into, so I'm curious what the game plan is. This seems pretty straightforward, right?
Did you see that, by the way? Dark started burrow and cancel. I heard he actually has some weird hotkeys where stuff like that happens sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to have to cancel that again. The transfuses go down. He has taken out the creep tumors here, important to note. So the creep is going to start diminishing
Yeah, that's a good point,
pretty
actually.
quickly, and maybe when he pushes through this, then he has the option to go up or down.
Just trying to target down some of these roaches, dealing a lot of damage.
It's funny, he has just enough adept that it doesn't kill a roach and they'll target it.
Yeah. It's like literally one adept off, and now he's
Yeah.
lost a couple of them
So
as
he
well.
needs to have another wave to warp in, and then I think he can actually one-shot roaches.
Yeah, I believe you're correct.
A lot
on
of
that.
the StarCraft micro, you sit around, okay, how many units do you need to one-shot or two-shot something, you know?
Having a hard time actually targeting them all down, but look at that, picking off quite a few roaches. Dark Shrine on the way, as well as the third base. Now, the layer is coming up, so I'm not, like, really expecting Dark Shrine to necessarily do a lot, but sometimes you catch them off guard with that. Oh, actually finishes the shade. All right, let's see what he can get done. The Lings come up and surround. Not a whole lot. Clears out those Lings at least. Ooh, but the shade out, getting some drones.
This is great play here by Stats. Is it going to be enough, though? I mean, really, it's all about the Zerg just weathering this. If you don't lose too many drones, you're probably fine. We have already the drones that were killed are hatching now again. 5 more drones. He's actually squeezing out even a little bit more. We do have Stats expanding, getting the Dark Shrine. We see Immortals coming in here, and it seems like things are going to quiet down at least for a little bit.
The Dark Shrine, hopefully for Stats' sake, will do something. Should be seeing that warping coming immediately upon it finishing. Here it goes. Actually making quite a quality army at home. Oh, he started blinking canceled. Oh, okay, maybe for just affording some more.
You know, as the game continues to unfold here, I don't think that Stats did anything too impressive as far as damage goes.
No.
You know, I mean,
I don't think so.
Dark basically held it. It doesn't mean Protoss loses now, but it does mean that, you know, a player like Dark is in about as good of a position as you could ask for. We have the DT, surprise DT run in here, but it immediately is shut down by Dark, who already has Overseers and a Spore.
Yeah, he scouted that just before the DT warp in.
So, I mean, Dark just really handling everything fine. And the game is going to propel itself into a, you know, a macro game now, where Stats is going to have to probably push if he wants to win the game.
I like the army he's putting together. It's getting that blink now. Lots of roaches being made by Dark. But if Stats can just retain his immortal count, that's going to help a lot. Oh, look at this. A bunch of free overlords. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, this is actually really good. I mean, you take whatever you can get.
hilarious.
Oh, my God.
I can't believe you didn't get that one.
Oh, that sucks. I was going to say, I mean, stuff like that you'll always take, right?
Yeah.
Just free overlord kills.
What do you think about this burrow and burrow movement?
I don't know if Stats is going to be ready for it.
What an interesting choice.
Well, if you think about it, you know, the players after they do the Adept play are usually, you know, they're making Immortals, of course. They're using sentries for force field, and they're going to rely on the SimCity of their base to be safe. But burrow movement kind of negates that, right? You can just burrow right under force fields. You can get right underneath an Immortal and just kill it.
Normally nowadays people utilize Ravagers more for that, but Dark has been playing a little bit Ravager light compared to what we've seen from him in the past.
Well, maybe it's something he's experimenting with. I mean, certainly it's something that Stats will have less experience dealing with. It could also be just the way the map is shaped. He realizes, oh, I can just literally burrow underneath the army and pop up and kill everything. Just the way Protoss's wall and play. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, kind of cool. Burrow's there. Of course, as soon as you see those roaches, you're going to know exactly what's going on. Now, there might not be
I
any
don't think
detection.
he sees this.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God, he's splitting them too.
Oof. Oof, indeed. All right, so here comes the main attack. Now, he's going to unburrow the roaches over here so that he can actually kill off workers.
That is a lot of roaches coming forward. Look at that, the burrow movement being used, moving forward here. Juggling going on, but a lot of probes are dying during all of this as well. Looks like he will hold the main army.
The problem, though, is that there might be so many kills over here on the probes. We're already up to 20.
Yeah, that's painful.
Oh, my gosh.
Can you imagine how different this game is if he has 60 workers?
Oh, completely different. The third has been canceled.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, with that going down as well, this is looking real good for Dark Sub.
Dark continues to come in here and just hammers that cannon, takes that out. More probe kills inbound here.
Just massacring the economy.
He's so good. Again, 3 roaches, you one-shot those probes. And here we go, cue the Jaws music.
Yeah, popping up, going after these mortals, but there are batteries here.
I think even if Dark doesn't take this fight correctly, he's still gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, this is just too much.
Too much damage out, but the batteries are out of juice as well. Stats holding on for now, but at sub 40 probes for how long? Dark has twice the supply.
This is just brutal. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta say that the setup here from Dark is just so good. He really is taking Dark to the next level.
Yeah.
Like, he looks at this specifically and he says, okay, I'll just hit you in the front. You might be able to hold it, but you're going to lose too many probes. You're not prepared for burrow roaches. You are prepared for Ravagers, but not burrow roaches after the Adept play. And this is some pretty revolutionary stuff. We don't really see this.
We never see this.
Yeah, I mean,
never
this
see
is
this.
just,
This is brand new.
yeah. And I mean, it's 33 workers versus 69 probes, man.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Okay.
I mean, eventually he is going to smother him with these, right?
I mean, yeah, I think this is just the end here.
Vials just raining down absolutely where more and more probes die. That Immortal just will not die. Blinks forward.
Yeah, maybe Dark overextends a little bit here. Let's not forget what happened in game 2 where Dark was going ham and then actually didn't account for the fact that the counterattack could come through here.
If he had like 4 more Immortals, I'd give him a shot to clear this out, right? But he doesn't have anything cost efficient enough to beat Dark just holding down the Arc Key.
You know what's also true is that these roaches just keep coming across the map. Which means more and more and more probes are going to be killed here.
Look at that, just annoying him so much. Little sets of roaches absolutely everywhere. You don't really have the economy to throw down cannons here either. Every answer is a bad answer. Did he just attack his own pylon?
I think he did. Wow.
Well, that's
how many roaches does it take to one-shot an Immortal? Nobody knows. Okay, that was quite the game. Dark. He's definitely one of the top picks for someone who's going to be advancing.
Yeah. But you know what? Stats and Astrea put up some good games against some
Yeah, man, our Protoss players are looking strong today. Stats, of course, is not eliminated. He'll be waiting in the final match, our 5th best of 3. Okay, we're going to have an interview now. Guri will be talking to Dark, and Andy will be translating it, and I think we're ready for that. We'll be going to that now.
16강에 올라가는
Okay,
첫
we're going to have an
번째
interview with
저그
Dark,
드래곤
the
포니스
first
게이밍의
winner
강명우 선수
of Group B round of 24.
축하드립니다.
Congratulations.
네.
Thank you.
자, 먼저 1위 소감부터
First of all, how do you
들어볼게요.
feel right now?
조가 상당히 좀 어려워서
Well, the group was really hard,
좀 어렵겠다라는
and I actually thought first place might be hard,
분들이 잘 통해서
but my builds and
네,
strategies
오늘
worked really well today.
김대엽 선수가 아이어의 방패 같다는 말을 들을 정도로
And
멋진
today,
경기력,
Stats,
수비력
the Shield of Iron,
결국
played so well on the
뚫어내셨습니다.
defense,
사실
but
이
you did
세트에서
overcome
바로
him.
올라가는 그림도 그리셨을 것 같은데
And you
좀
probably
아쉬울
thought
것
about
같아요.
advancing after the second game. So any
2세트
disappointments?
같은 경우에는
Well, the second game.
10판 쓰면 한 판 막힐까 말까 한
Well, that's a strategy that gets actually offended off a 1 game out of 10 games. So I definitely knew Stats was an extraordinary player.
강력한데 이걸 막아낸 김대엽 선수도 대단한 것
Yes, props to
같습니다.
Stats for defending it.
오늘 승자전도 승자전이지만 저는 맥스엔젤 선수와의 에버드림 경기가
Your
정말
match
하이라이트인
against
것
Max
같아요.
Angel at Astrea
이게
in
정말
Everdream was definitely
멋진
phenomenal.
기습 전투였죠. 단 한 번의 기습 전투로
With one sudden
프로토스의
assault,
우주모함 조합을
you turned around the momentum
역전을 거뒀는데요.
and you
이게
got the win in the
그야말로
game.
기습적인 시도였는지 아니면 타락기에 울트라 리스크 감염충까지
So was that a
조합해서
carefully
싸우잖아요.
conducted fight,
이런
or was
전술을
that some
들여놓고
unplanned,
울트라까지
impromptu
기다렸다가 노렸던
sudden attack?
타이밍이었는지 궁금한데요.
So I'm curious as to
이거는 좀
what it is.
자세하게 말씀드리기는 그 개념상 그렇고
I think it's gonna be hard to get into the specifics.
잘 통해서
But yeah, it was intended and it was
똑같이
carefully conducted.
그렸다면 이것이 박용 선수의 역량이다 하고 황영재 해설님께서
So Gisa-do was
이게 선수를
impressed
다루는 기준일
by your
것이다.
strategies
이런
and builds
역량을
today.
체크해 보려고 했던 질문이었습니다. 사실 오늘 박용 선수의 경기를 굉장히 오래 기다리고 있었던 게
Actually, I was waiting for your
지난
match,
시즌
Dark.
GSL 참가 이후로
Last
처음으로
season,
GSL에서 8강 탈락을 하셨거든요.
You were eliminated in the round of 8 for the first time.
오전대에서 3대빵도 저는
And in the
처음
best of
봤어요.
5, you got 3-0 by TY.
네. 아 이건 정말 낯선 경험이셨을
So that
것
was
같아요.
really
어떻게 좀 복수의 칼을 갈아오셨나요?
a surprise. So are you going to take revenge on TY
칼을 갈고
this
싶은데
season?
이제
Yes, I do want
태양형한테
to.
그 시드권 그게 있잖아요.
But you know,
그래서
TY has this ability
저는 뭐
to change
괜찮습니다.
players in the group nomination.
또
So
다른 시즌을 준비하고 있습니다.
you know, I'm fine. I'm just gonna
권태양
look forward to
선수가
this season.
나를 또 뽑는다고 해도 기꺼이 응할 혹시
So are you going to be happy to join his group in the group nomination?
했는데
I mean, if he does pick me, that would be good.
뽑아주시면 감사해요.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be thankful if he picks me in the group
감사하다.
nomination.
역시 우승자다운 그런 발언입니다. 자, 최근에 밸런스 패치가 있었는데
Recently, there was a balance patch, and Zergs weren't really satisfied with the patch.
이런 여론이거든요. 박명우 선수는 어떠세요?
So, Dark, what do you think about the
확실히
patch?
옛날에 비해서 많이 좀 그 뭐라 해야 되지? 많이 좀 안 좋아진 것
Well,
같아요.
compared to before,
테란전이
it's definitely
많이
worse.
힘들어진 것 같아요.
The ZVT is really hard.
앞으로 이제 24강 많은 경기가 남았는데
Round of 24, there are many matches left. So I'm curious as to how many Zerg players will actually advance to round 16.
궁금하다 하셨습니다. 자, 그렇다면 그 밸런스가 박명우 선수에게도 앞으로 큰 영향을
So let's
미칠지
see if this
저희도
balance patch
궁금한데요.
will have any
마지막
effect
한마디까지
on Dark in
들어보도록
the future
하겠습니다.
matches. So before you go, anything you want to say,
아직
Dark?
뭐 오늘도 이것저것 많이 쓰긴 했지만
Well, I mean, I did use a bunch of strategies today,
준비해 놓은 게 많아요.
but I do have a lot of strategies at my disposal. So I'm going to show more beautiful matches in
네,
round
다시 한번
16.
진출 축하드립니다.
Once again, congratulations on your advancement, Dark. Thank you.
네, 이렇게 1위 진출자 박명우 선수 만나봤는데요. 계속해서 GSL
Alright.
이벤트 안내해드립니다.
Well, Dark is a beast, Artosis.
Yeah, looks absolutely fantastic. Can't wait to see
Yeah.
how far he goes. And I agree. I want to see how many Zergs are going to advance. You know, we're in such a fresh meta with these
Yeah.
new maps and the new patch.
The game is really looking pretty different, actually.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's
And-
quite
and
noticeable.
different in a very good way, too. So,
yeah, well,
we're-
I think anything different is just refreshing.
Yeah,
You know,
got to mix
and
it
it's
up.
summer. We need refreshment.
We're going to go to a short break. We come back. The losers match. Do not go away.
싱그러운 청귤 칠성사이다를 만나다. 이런 청량함은 처음이야. 칠성사이다.
성능을 대용량 배터리로 언제 어디서나 더 오래 즐기다. 72Wh 대용량 배터리, 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준, LG 울트라 기어. 듀얼 메모리, 듀얼 저장 장치. 고성능을 듀얼 업그레이드로 더 오랜 기간 즐기다.
라운드 24 다크 아스트레아 임팩트 스태치 아프리카 TV 프리급 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 2 코드 S 더 커밍 스톰.
Welcome back, everybody. We are now in the elimination match here of this GSL. Impact versus Astrea. Astrea has been playing really well. He had a great series against Dark. Again, this is another ZVP. We basically had only ZVPs today. We might even have one more, or we'll have a mirror matchup. So we're really getting to unpack this matchup and then the new meta that we're in.
It's been very fun.
But I'll tell you, we've been talking about Astrea for a while, and we're finally getting to cast him in this GSL. He's very good. I think he's looking better than Impact, but we'll see.
Yeah, based on the games that we've seen, I think Astrea is going to be favored, especially when I take into consideration he lives with no regret, the person who can most closely resemble Impact's playstyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're a cheesy, high MMR Zerg, I mean, there you go. It's...
Okay, so Eternal Empire it is for this first game. Remember, the winner of this series goes on to fight in the final match against Stats. Stats is a real hard opponent to take on. And the loser of this is out of the round of 24 of the GSL. Their story ends for this season. All right, our game is loaded up. Let's do this. Impact versus Astrea starts now.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해볼까?
Whoa. Look at that pylon.
Oh, damn.
What am I even looking at, Tasteless?
I don't know.
팀 LP 임팩트 김준혁.
This is
so the
crazy.
First, okay, yeah, we're gonna get a shot
against
at this.
Impact?
Now, why would he put it there?
I think this is some sort of Nexus First shenanigans going on.
알파 X 아스트레아 맥스 엔젤.
That's right, Max Angel, the greatest name.
It's like an action hero name.
It is.
Max
well, he
Angel.
basically is an action hero.
He is an action hero, yeah.
So there it is, Nexus First. And against Impact of all people, which is,
my God.
To me, that's madness because it's like the most aggressive player.
Okay, so let's see how this works.
And here's the thing, Astrea is very good at Nexus First. He's been doing it for a long time in PvZ.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
And the fact that it wasn't like a 12 pool, he's ahead. That's it. It's not like, not many Protosses ever go Nexus First. So the Protoss that goes Nexus First, if you did not blindly, randomly counter what they're doing, they are now ahead of you. And that there's really not much else to say about that, you know? It's just like, yeah, he knows this in and out. It's not like we're going to see Impact just attack him and break through or something. Astrea knows how to hold all the different situations here. So he's gotten the good end of a build order. And on the big macro map, too, Eternal Empire.
I'm so excited by what we're seeing here. This is just so cool. Okay, so there's 2 gates now, and the core is coming here. Now, just now, this Overlord's going to get here and see that there's nothing. So I would love
to
be able to read Impact's thoughts right now, because he's sitting there going, wait, what?
That's
Where,
a really good point.
Where is it?
Because you have to be like, oh no.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's going on.
Is it time to just make units?
Everything I thought this game was going to be, it's not. And I don't know about you, but if I saw nothing there, I think, oh my God, I'm being proxied. I don't think you're making a
cancel
Nexus
that
first.
hatch, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I would not be thinking, oh, he made a Nexus to the right. So you have to think that already.
Dude, he's so confused.
Astrea knows this build in and out, and right now, Impact, his mind is going a million miles a minute, trying to figure out, okay, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, look at this. He's scouting everywhere.
Yeah.
Look at this. He's making spores. Oh my God. Let's see if he cancels all those spores instantaneously.
Okay, so now he finally sees there's workers mining here. He's thinking, okay, he fast expanded. Why did he do it there?
Is he really not going to cancel those spores? Look at this. He's making a bunch of lings. Now this exactly is what you cannot do in this situation.
Yeah.
Okay? If you're playing against someone that's doing a Nexus first and you think they didn't prepare to stop Zerglings,
yeah.
Like what?
The Zerglings aren't going to get there, and Astrea's going to go, damn, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, like,
Zerglings, of course, that's why people don't normally do this.
Yeah, you figure it out during your GSL Code S match.
Yeah.
You're one of the highest ranked players in the whole world. No, that's not how it goes down. Diamond League, sure, okay, yeah. Here, no.
All right. So he has a second wall up here. I mean, so it's kind of funny. You see Protoss has like so much of the map. There's so much territory.
Dude, yeah.
That he controls.
Astrea right now, he is terraforming this map. This is becoming Astrea's Protoss map at the moment.
Yeah, this is.
Look,
he's
going
terraforming it, is what you said. That took me a second.
You said he has all this territory. It's like, yeah, man, he's. Look at this, the Lings come in again.
The thing is, yeah, I mean, it just doesn't look like this is going to work. Remember, when you see Lings like that early, those are not drones.
Yeah.
They all come from the same source, the larvae. So, I mean, right now, we're watching Impact play probably the most uncomfortable game of his career right now.
No, this is...
when the stakes are high, too.
Of his life, cases.
Yeah.
Okay?
Of his life. Of this life and the next.
Yeah. Dude, look at this. Double Forge now. This is something that he actually does as well. I think he normally goes Colossus with his Nexus first builds. We'll see if that's going to be the case here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. The Colossus tech coming up. Oh, God, yes. Those in-depths are really paying off right now. I love it, man. Double Forge. He's got 3 Nexuses. We're on 54 probes. Finally, Impact passes him in worker count at 5 minutes, 15 seconds. Welcome to the new PVZ order.
The new PVZ
That's
order.
Right.
Bow down to your new god, Babylon.
Yeah. Let's see you deal with this, Cyril. It's like, yeah, okay. And just wrecks it. Oh, okay, sorry.
Looks like both these Adepts are going to get away as well, by the way. And so now, as we kind of zoom out and try to get big picture here, how behind is Impact? Because Impact was duped.
Is there a bigger number than Infinity, Tasteless?
Infinity Plus.
It's actually called Greater Infinity. But, yeah, he's so unbelievably far behind.
Infinity Plus.
Infinity Plus. That's even bigger than Greater Infinity.
That's bigger than Greater Infinity, all right?
Yeah. But look, he's upgrading some roaches, and I don't know, maybe he's going to go Stormhost. I think that's like a reasonable idea, maybe.
What about Infinity Plus Plus?
Plus?
That's the code language that they made the universe with, Artosis, is Infinity Plus Plus. It's not very easy to code on, but it is the most advanced.
Yeah, I like it.
Well.
All right, blink on the way. Lots of gates coming down.
Oh my God, I rolled over my headset cord with my wheel, nearly pulled my head down.
Yeah.
I'm back.
All right, welcome
It's
back.
one of those rare caster injuries you want to watch out for.
Yeah. It's not the voice that you're looking out for. It's tripping over your own cable. I normally wrap my headphone cable around my leg so I won't trip over it.
Oh, careful, Astrea.
Look at this. So Astrea has basically gone 3 base pure economy off sentries into Double Forge Colossus Blink while harassing and scouting everything.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the ultimate build. It's like he just does everything at once.
Here's the cool thing, though. He's going to go for Nidus, and this may be the one, with Swarmos, this may be the one thing that Astrea could be weak to.
I wonder about that, right? Because, I mean, you do have the Colossus, you do have the sentries, so maybe you can slow it down a bit. Because you know that Astrea has to be looking to hit a timing attack. I would say probably a 2-2 time. Look at that bird is even helping him. The bird's standing in the wall. Are you kidding me?
Is it a bird? I always thought it was like a dinosaur, like a raptor. Vegetarian raptor.
Same thing, right? Like dinosaurs turn into birds.
Well, they don't turn into birds, Artosis.
Okay, it's like Transformers.
That's maybe not the best way to say they turn into birds.
They turned into birds.
All those birds you see outside, they're actually dinosaurs.
Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. You believe in evolution?
Yeah, my bad.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, whatever, flat earther.
So embarrassing.
Or round earther, I mean, that's what we got to start doing. A couple of round earthers over here.
Why doesn't it roll away? Answer me that, idiot. Okay, so Hive on the way. A lot of Niduses coming up. That's a lot of stalkers, my friend.
Quite a bit of stalkers.
Have a stalker or two. Look at this. I think this is overkill. It's like 5 locusts going up against 28 stalkers. 28 1-1 stalkers with blink. Look, 2 more are coming in now. What are we even doing? Impact, what is this? I don't even like, what? Oh, I like that infestation pit placement.
Yeah.
Maybe he made it by accident. You thought it was a Rochoran. Oh,
that's
God.
funny. He drew some of the locusts down there. So, you know, every volley of the Swarm Host is really important here. Because if he doesn't do that much, it's really a huge problem.
Yeah, a few stalkers getting caught out for Astrea, but Astrea's going to have his 2-2 finishing up pretty quick here. And I can't imagine a better timing than going out with 2-2. Right? 2-2, blink, charge will be done, and he has 3 Colossus. All right, catches a few of these units.
This is actually a weird moment because this Zerg army can get trapped over here.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, look at this, even body blocks over there. A counterattack, can't talk today, tries to hit at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, he throws out the Locust and gets a little bit of value with that, but he's losing big chunks of army. With this Link attack, at least killing all the probes at his fort.
Okay, the Zealots are coming through here doing so much damage to these Lings. But it looks like this Nexus is going to be killed off. Now this Nidus is going to be interesting. Let's see if he can come in here and do anything, because it doesn't seem like Astrea even noticed this.
And Lurker's on the way, by the way, and that can be a good counter against this, but doesn't have the range upgrade yet.
Oh, nothing's coming out. I think he realizes this push is coming in here. It's too strong.
Ooh, the Lurker's burrowed. He's taking a ton of damage from that Lurker. He's got to be very careful about that.
Yeah.
Lurkers do counter Stalkers pretty hard.
Yeah. Some Locusts are coming in here, but I think the Protoss can manage this, which will allow him to push it even further.
Well, he's got to break something here, I would say. Yeah, only a few Lurkers left over. It looks like Astrea's just going to fight. Taking a bit of damage. Bit of splash there. But mostly a Roach army left over. Oh my god, catching a lot of these Swarm Hosts with those Zealots. Don't forget, Astrea's on 2-2.
Okay, the push continues to come forward here. I mean, this hatch is getting pretty low. It looks like there's no way to save this hatch at this point in time.
Yeah.
And this is really the most critical part here. There's actually something happening up top, too. I think the hatchery is going to hit there by something as well. No drones mining there either. But it looks like we're going to keep the camera shot on this. Zealots coming in here. I think Astrea's moments away from winning this.
Yeah,
it looks like we're really at the tipping point here. This, the remake of the hatchery wasn't canceled in time. More money down the drain for Impact.
All right, moving up into this fourth base location now. Only a few Hydras absolutely cannot fight.
Yeah, and now he's going to be where the Nidus Worm entry point is. Yeah, I think we got a GG here.
I think you're right. The Roach Hydra is not set to deal with this. Brings up that Prism as well. Definitely has to target that down. Does Focus Fire and actually kills it off. Maybe give himself a bit of a respite here.
Yeah, he's going to try to push through, but these Locusts won't last much longer. Zealots coming here to counter over at the Natural. Just so much damage everywhere. Impact hanging on by a thread.
Astrea everywhere right now. Just crushing. Because the Roach is actually going to come back. He rotated his army, though, and he definitely could have killed that hatch, but looks like he'll poke up towards the third base. There is the Nidus there. He's going to take that out. Ooh, just barely doesn't, actually. Still micro this hard, but don't forget, he does not have a prism over here anymore, so he can't reinforce.
Okay, now going to try to come up here through the top. Again, I mean, right now, every hit that Impact takes is just getting worse and worse for him. Oh, man, even losing the Lurker and the Hydra there. We are so close, I think, to the end here. I mean, Astrea's just played a brilliant game. Let's not forget, everybody, this started out with Nexus first in an unusual location.
Yeah, he
so
really
crazy
threw for a loop there.
Oh, man, barely escaping there.
Astrea playing cleanup duty right now. Looks like he's going to join his army up. He has little bits of it all over the place. He's up over, yeah, he's up 20 workers right now. Didn't continue upgrading after 2-2, but now he has Psystorm to add into those 3 Colossus.
Yeah. Okay, we have a push coming up here. And I don't know, man. I mean, I don't see a real out here for the Zerg, you know? The Zerg can't get a 5th up here. In fact, maybe even blinks up here into the natural.
I think he'll just continue to roam a bit.
Yeah, there's no
edges.
No need.
Yeah. You don't want to throw. I think that's the number one thing right now is he's probably thinking, don't throw, don't throw, don't throw. Take it nice and easy, nice and slow.
That's a very unfortunate place for that building. All right, so that goes down. I don't know if Protoss is going to try to push through any further over here.
No.
I think it's much more desirable to come right with this shot we have over here.
Splitting some Zealots off, continuing to roam back and forth. Just kind of keeping control of this situation. I mean, you still have to be careful, right? If you really mess up on the Lurkers, maybe Impact has a comeback.
Yeah. Stalkers just die so fast, the Lurkers, but it looks like this is the front door being unlocked over here.
Well, broken down, really.
Yeah, Astrea's going to come through there, and I think we're seeing Impact at its death throes right now.
Absolutely. Some great side storms go down to Colossus, counting on those Lurkers as well. GG is called, and Astrea wins the game. All right. Sick game there from Astrea, really cool strategy. Yeah. And you got to wonder how this is going to fit with the rest of his best of 3 against Impact. Think about this, right?
Yeah.
You go for a Nexus first in a weird location, you completely throw off the most aggressive Zerg in the GSL. Is he going to Nexus first again? No, Tasis, I'll bet anything on that.
No, I don't think he Nexus first again. Man, Astrea with some just inspiring play here. It's really impressive. So,
Stoneface killer right there.
I don't think that there's going to be another Nexus right away today.
No.
But really, the range of PvZ that Astrea is exhibiting is pretty insane.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really something else.
It's more range than a siege tank.
Damn. More range than a Broodlord.
More range than a Swarm host? No, nothing's more range than a Swarm host. You silly guy.
So for game number 2, it's going to go down on Everdream. Impact needs to win this game and the next to advance to the final match. Astrea just needs one more win. Let's see what he chooses to do.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해볼까? 팀 LP 임팩트 김준혁. 알파 엑스 아스트레아 맥스 엔젤.
So regular scout here. He's going to fake a cannon rush, maybe?
Yeah, that movement usually is the beginnings of a cannon rush, but not this time around.
Impact not buying it.
Yeah.
You can't have a player that both Nexus first and cannon rushes.
Is that where we have to end the game itself?
Well, those two things can't coexist in one human, you know? Like, you're never going to see Haas or SOS or Parting go... Actually, Parting would go Nexus first.
SOS maybe.
Parting will probably look at that build and be like, haha, my range grows.
Okay.
If SOS were to Nexus first, it would be in your main, okay?
Yes, that's true. That
Just
is
to
true.
make that clear. It's not from mining
Never forget
barrels.
that game. By the way, Astrea with great pro blocking here, but eventually the third hatch does get set up. All right. Well, as this game goes forward, I'm still waiting. Are we going to have just a more standard game here from Astrea? He does seem to, at least so far, he likes to do something crazy in game one, and then maybe he'll do a very conservative game in game two.
Yeah,
I think that, frankly, if Astrea did a conservative game, I think he'd still beat Impact.
Yes, absolutely. The game he put out against Dark, I think if you just do what you did against Dark, you've got it.
Yeah.
Like, make 2 Oracles, don't lose them. Because when you have 2 Oracles, and you have some shield batteries and just some random gateway units, like, it's hard to imagine Impact killing you early on. And he's already shown that his later game is very, very strong.
Yeah. Impact is sizing up to be maybe the weakest player in this group here.
Yeah.
But let's not count him out yet. I mean, let's see how he does in this game. I don't feel like we really got to see where Impact's actually at as far as how he measures up to Astrea, because the beginning of that opening is so weird. I mean, it's hard to emphasize this enough. You know, this is a rare thing to happen in StarCraft 2 anymore, is where somebody does an opening that's so crazy that you're completely confused.
Yeah, at the pro level, that's
Yeah.
hard. That's hard to do, for sure.
But in that game, we even saw Impact immediately throw down spores. He had no idea what the hell was happening. You see no Nexus, slow scout overlord, you get in there, there's nothing in the main. You're like, what?
Yeah.
And he finally goes over to the third and sees it.
All right, Oracle flying across the map. Let's see what it gets done. Looks like it's coming in the back. Nothing really here at the third base.
Yeah.
Flies right on by. Plenty of queens here, can't do anything really.
Oh, is he going to lose it? 2 kills is not bad.
Damn, that reduced range makes a difference.
It really does. Now, Astrea's getting his third Nexus up here over at 3 o'clock. And right now, the Zerg is just staying in a defensive posture here. We have the Roach Warren coming up. There is another Oracle on the way. What is down at the bottom center? It's 6? What is that?
I'm not sure what that
Is that another
actually.
Oracle? Oh, it is. Okay.
Okay.
So he's actually, a third Oracle just popped out. So there's one in the very bottom left, one in the bottom center. Yeah, that's not going to be able to get any kills this time.
No, not so much.
8 more Roaches are coming.
It's a lot of Roaches, and
A
he's
fourth-
making a fourth Oracle. That's cool.
Yeah. Now, although
Actually, I heard about this, I think. I can't quite recall, but, like, if he's continually making these Oracles and you try to attack those Roaches, you're just going to obliterate them. You know, 4 Oracles with high energy? Oh, please, get out of here.
Yeah.
You know?
Oracles are funny like that. And this is actually a timing. We know that
Yeah.
because the Queens have been
Oh,
pulled.
that's right, because, okay, this is what I remember from it now. There was actually a Queen Roach push timing that Zergs were using a few months ago that was
Yeah.
really, really strong. And making non-stop Oracles against it was a great way, because you wipe out the Queens and everything else dies.
Yeah. There's a lot more batteries coming down here. We have more Warpins as well.
All right, Warps in a couple of depths. Ravagers coming out, 4 Queens. But he's at 5 Oracles now, Tasteless. He is going to massacre those Queens so quickly. You got to be careful about it, though. You want to pool as much energy as possible. This is still a very scary attack.
Yeah, this is an attack you have to respect. The Oracles spring out, all 5 of them gunning down the Queens. Oh my god, the transfusion's perfectly timed out. Finally, though, the damage does begin to stack.
A little bit of mistargeting there. He's going to end up taking out all those queens and now can go back to work on these Ravagers. Has another Oracle popping out as well.
As long as the core is here, he can keep making adepts, he can keep making stalkers, whatever he needs. The pylon is now under fire. This is what powers the 2 gates. And remember, these oracles, they have a limited amount of energy. They can't attack if they don't have energy, and that's why we see only one is hitting right now. Did this work? It seems like it has.
Yeah. I mean, 60 probes, I thought for sure he was going to cut through there a little bit quicker.
Man, those transfusions on the queens were key. And now these lings are hitting, and I think Astrea is going to die in this game. I think this is the point of no return. There's just too many dead probes. Nowhere on the map is safe. Impact is everywhere.
Look at this. The overcharge! The probes are fighting. They fight back.
Yeah.
So little energy left here,
What's
though.
funny is that lings are terrible against oracles, but if there's enough lings, you don't have the energy to ever try to fight them.
Oh, you know, you ran out of all that energy fighting before. Continuing to make oracles. Oh, God. The main base completely unpowered.
There is one immortal out.
If only he could deal with these lings.
Yeah, if only.
I don't think that there's any way for Astrea to win this. But if there were a way, it would probably have to do with the mass oracles. Unfortunately, absolutely no energy left. Just could not hold it together. I actually thought he was going to hold that, but good job from Impact. He did nail those transfusions, as you mentioned. Tough build to deal with. That was really popular a few months ago.
I love Impact serving it up. I think this is a really smart play here. I think he came in there with an opening and really punished Astrea. And now it seems like anybody can take this, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. In Game 3, anything can happen. I mean, in fact, Game 3, this is on Golden Wall.
Oh, okay.
So that makes it a whole nother level of interesting. In the past, gold bases have really always favored Zerg.
That's true, but also, you know, this is probably our least generic map, right? I mean, you really have to play this map the way the map is.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So, I don't know. With the crazy stuff that Astrea's already showed us, I mean, maybe he's got something cool up his sleeve.
I bet he has something cool planned.
But yeah, I think you are also right, Artosis, that gold bases tend to work out better for Zerg.
Yeah. All right, let's see what these guys got.
Okay, our final game between these two players on Golden Wall starts now.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 팀 LP 임팩트 김진경. 알파 엑스 아스트레아 맥스 엔젤.
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
But it's scouted right away. Probe sees it.
He has to have a plan against this because this is somewhat predictable, right?
Yeah, this is like what
even
gold-based maps look like in this matchup.
Going out to hatch block even, right? It's like, well, they're going to take a third. Are they going to take the blue third or the gold third?
Right.
So he might even want him to do that. It's a possibility.
Now, generally speaking, gold-based strategies, when the Zerg does them, they usually lead into a very quick, powerful attack.
Yeah.
Like lots of roaches, for instance. You just use the extra minerals to kind of force yourself into a really good engagement.
Yeah.
You know, you have an abnormally large amount of units early on.
That's right. That's right. And there's been two primary ways that Protosses have fought back against that.
Right.
One would be a more adept Oracle-based approach where you're harassing the drones at the third base because Zerg is on less drones, so killing those drones at the gold base is going to be very useful. It's going to be very helpful in slowing that down.
Yeah.
The other way would be, when this one's a little bit less popular, is to play a longer game where you outscale those early units that they made. If they're making Lings and Roaches early on, you can get into splash damage, play a slightly more turtley game.
Yeah.
That's a bit harder in Legacy of the Void because of the reduced mineral patches everywhere, so you're kind of forced into taking expansions quicker, which kind of exacerbate the power of that earlier strong Zerg army. But on this map, there is that possibility of expanding behind. And that would be an area that he couldn't attack. So I'm not sure at all what Astrea's plan is here, but that's kind of like the range that we're looking at. Okay, Robo coming up.
Yeah, and again, you know, the edge is clearly with the Zerg when they have a gold base. I mean, it's just, they do mine out a little bit quicker, but I mean, that's not...
They don't care about that.
Yeah, they're not worried about that. They're not like, maybe I should just not take
Like,
that.
I just hate mining out so quick. Like, are you kidding me? Can I mine out quick because I got so many minerals?
Yeah.
Please, sign me up.
Now, one feature about the gold base on this map is that the minerals, there's whichever side you're mining from, there's an opposing side where you can fire stalker shots or adept shots over. Oh, wow. That is just unheard of. He lost the Overlord.
It's kind of embarrassing.
In a completely preventable. Not only is it embarrassing, but I mean, this really screws up the rhythm of the early game here.
Yeah. But more importantly, it's embarrassing.
Yes.
All right, sending some Lings in. They're not really going to get anything done. But if it's only the Stalker there, obviously it's a little bit problematic. All right, Spore going up. Take that gas. Some really fantastic mining going on for Impact. You can see 27 workers, and his income's really good right now. What is the plan here from Astrea?
I don't know. I mean, it's also possible that he just wants to try to endure the lead and then just outlast him.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just, with that gold base, I feel like if Impact catches onto that, he can get into like a very scary macro game as well,
that's
right?
true.
If he has control of the top of the map, he can take a couple more bases easily.
And there's plenty of area up there to expand to. You're totally right. Yeah, I'm just not really sure.
Well, let's see.
But Astrea's pretty smart, so we'll see what he's got planned here.
Impact is making a lot of units right now. Also going up to the layer. Having a little bit of a hard time sinking these shots, unfortunately, for Astrea. I hope that doesn't kind of get under his skin a bit. You know, sometimes when you're not executing something like that, it can mess you up. It's like, that's something every Protoss is very good at, is making sure the Adepts are lining up shots so you can quickly one-volley as many drones as possible.
Yeah, it's essential.
But when they're like, when you have it slightly desynced and a drone gets in the gas and you're missing a shot, it's like, ugh.
Well, I like this, just coming in here and taking out quite a few drones.
Yeah, going back and forth.
But it almost, is Protoss going to try to push here? I'm not totally sure.
It looks like he's setting up an Immortal in.
He might try to push from behind here.
Yeah, it's possible.
He's mined out the minerals. We saw this earlier, by the way, but he might just go through the center and then go down. And then...
If you're pushing from behind...
From underneath,
like, I guess, like, your opponent can either try to get through those mineral patches to stop you from killing the hatch, which I don't think really works well, because you're, like, none of your units are really connecting except Ravagers. Or they can counterattack into your natural, but that's like up a ramp into a wall, which is very difficult.
Okay. It is going to come in over here. And again, no drone kills, actually. All right, just gets one. Not bad. You know what's weird about this? I just feel like on paper, if you do push as Protoss, you should be crushed, right? Because the gold base, they just have more, right?
Well,
maybe I don't understand. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Well, he's going to have more units than is normal, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we ever...
The way it functions.
Yeah, if we ever see a push coming out, and Zergs have held them, it's like, well, then they would have to hold it with a gold base, right? But here we see Astrea's going to take a third now.
This is interesting, right? Because he is taking that third base. Now, is he going to... Wow, he's killed 13 drones. He's killed 13 drones.
To be honest with you, that's way higher than I had realized.
Yeah. That's really good. He just continues. Look at it.
I guess because we didn't see them all killed at once, I was underestimating how many kills he had. But yeah, this is quite good.
It's up to like 15 or something. That's crazy. But look, here's the question, right? Astrea's taking that gold base, and he's got an army. This is the type of army that you look at and you're like, oh, this is going to attack me. This is going to be scary. But you don't, just because it looks like that, an immortal push army doesn't mean you have to push right away. Right?
Right.
He can actually just sit back. He can take his own gold. You can't attack into that army up a ramp, right? Not with Roach Ravager.
He hasn't lost anything. He's a perfect human.
Perfect human.
A PH. So now that gold base has been taken here, Astrea played a very conservative game. And, yeah, I mean, I think that honestly, I thought we were going to see an attack from Impact. It never happened. I think he was hoping to just kind of hold off any kind of attack, but now we're just going to build this up into a macro game. Now that the gold base has been taken, it looks like Protoss wants to push. Keep in mind the extra minerals is going to allow for some more warpins here.
All right, it is a 50 army supply advantage for Zerg.
Very true.
Still think you're supposed to defend here. Look at how many Roach Ravager he has. And look at this, as soon as he comes out, Astrea's actually backing up and killing more drones.
Such a huge amount of units here. Okay. Activating some of those shields in the back for the Immortals.
Look at this. He just continues to kill drones.
All right, another attack coming in here.
Oh, that set of roaches is scaring me. That's up on the ramp. Now, the other set actually can be taken out by this army. So he actually turns some of it around. All right, he does have the overcharge going on right now, really helping out with that Archon. Oh, the Biles come down. He loses all of his sentries here. It's do or die time right now for Astrea. He has got to hold on against this, but that is so many Ravagers.
Okay, this attack continues. The Immortals are now driving back these Ravagers. This just isn't enough. So many Immortals in this game here. And you can see Impact, it's like he's running into a wall. But he's not done yet.
Yeah, he is. He's adding in some lings here, which I think is going to really complicate the map. The Immortals aren't going to have as good a time against that. Some good Biles do land.
One
like
Immortal goes
an
down.
Immortal.
Yeah.
A flank coming in right now. Good force fields come down to stall this out a bit. All right, Astrea's dealing with all the units on the right. Trying to micro back. His Immortal shields are gone.
He still has those 5 Immortals. One goes down.
Oh!
Whoa! Huge loss. But as another Immortal and Zealots push in, Impact has been denied again.
Yeah, right now Astrea is really trying to hold on. If he can get these pairings where things like Zealots are on top of the Ravagers, that's going to do really, really well for him. He does bring in a Prism, so we can see some juggling on these Immortals now as well.
Yeah, the War Prism really makes it a lot more robust as far as defense goes, as long as you're microing correctly.
Oh, he's starting to pick off quite a bit here. Does use that overcharge. Immediate back off from Impact, bringing his Queens into the fight.
Yeah, Impact signaling that he wants to end this right here, right now.
Well, he certainly should want to end it.
Yep. The Queens are coming up. They've almost merged up where they can start to do more damage for the rest of this army. More Zealots are being made right now. This is a nail-biter of a fight.
Oh, we don't really have any shield battery energy. Some good force fields come down. He's going to be able to pick off a couple Queens.
Now it's only going to be 1 Queen remaining here. Good control here by these Immortals.
Oh my God, Astrea, oh, just barely doesn't save that one Immortal. Some more Zealots warping in right now. This is just a tooth-and-nail fight. Astrea continuing to juggle his Immortals back, but all the rest of his army dying off right now. He does have a 4th Immortal. It hasn't joined the fight yet, though.
Yes, he's just continuing to micro these 3 Immortals. The Nexus is exposed.
All right, targeting down that egg. Good job. Picks up those Immortals. Oh, keeping them all alive for now.
The push continues, though. The last Queen has been picked off. The Immortals are now destroying these Ravager eggs.
Oh, just barely does not get that one. The shield saves that Immortal. Astrea microing his heart out right now. Is it going to be enough against Impact?
I think Impact has done it.
Yeah, it's starting to look that way. All of his Immortals end up falling here. Impact forcing his way through into the natural. And there's just nothing left here for Astrea.
Yeah, it was a very close tug of war there in the middle of the map, but Impact is taking this all the way home. There's just too much.
Yeah, showing the power of how many units you can get off that gold base. Astrea unhappily types GG.
And this means we're going to have a 5th CVP.
That's right. Impact does come through and gets into that loser's match. Astrea, though, putting up a fantastic fight here tonight, showing some great builds, some great execution. Just really very impressed with him, and I'm so hoping that we get to see him in another GSL.
Yeah. Yeah, he played really well. I think he's a player that could easily get to a round of 16. He just needs another chance at GSL. And look, I mean, you can see why he was able to qualify. I think a lot of people are realizing now why we were talking about this guy for so long. Yeah, so another ZVP. Impact versus Stats.
All right. Impact versus Stats. Stats really bashed Impact last time.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to happen again.
Yeah, I think it's hard to imagine him winning this, but we'll see. We have a short break, and after that, we'll go to our match.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
거기 들어와. 그 밑에 걔 잡고. 나이스. 됐어.
미안해 로우나. 화났어?
미안해. 내가 해줄게.
아 잠깐 내가 누르면 안 돼. 아 누르면 안 돼 지금. 자 그렇게 하는데 무슨 소리야?
좋은 시간 되세요.
From the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
고고! 핫식스!
너무 많이 마셨다.
청정제주 숙취 비법과 탄산의 만남. 숙취엔 가스강.
상큼한 복숭아, 칠성 사이다를 만나다.
이런 청량함은 처음이야.
He's done it now 4 times in a row. He is your GSL Codex champion. He has done it! 뜨거운 박수로 결승전 대결의 신선 탁스라.
라운드 24 다크 아스트레아 임팩트 스태치 아프리카 TV 프리급 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 2 코드 S 더 커밍 스톰.
What is up, everybody? We're going to go to the final match. Now, look, I think it's fair to say Stats is probably going to win this, but maybe Impact could start to have a comeback here. He did seem to pull it together in the Astrea game, so each game he looked a little bit better than the game before.
Yeah.
And I thought Astrea played very well, so maybe he's got something against Stats here.
Yeah, well, I think Stats is unfazed by Impact, because once you see the maps, you're going to see that Golden Wall is map 2, and Stats chose it. Whereas he could have chosen Eternal Empire, which is a big macro map for Game 2.
Right.
So I look at that and I'm like, okay, Stats saw what Impact is up to and he's like, oh no, hold my mouse, you know?
Hold my mouse. Okay, Everdream for Game 1. Stats is looking like the Stats of the past, the one who was dominant,
Yeah, he's
who
looking
could
real
not
good
be
today.
stopped. Yeah.
Real good.
So let's see, if he can keep this up, because he might be able to win this whole thing. All right, Impact versus Stats. The rematch starts now.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 팀 LP 임팩트 김준혁. 아프리카 프린스 스탠츠 김대영.
All right. So, as the opener here, Impact went for a 14 hatch, which you can't pro block.
Right.
And so the early scout of Stats doesn't really do anything. Wanted to deny the hatchery location and force him to take a third base, but unable to do that. So that could have been, a lot of times Protoss is kind of playing around that, where it's like, well, if I'm doing an adept build, there'd be more drones at the third base and potential for more damage and something like that, right? Maybe it's an Oracle opener, and that's what you're looking for. The Queens have a harder time getting over there, but not gonna have that opportunity against Impact. So it's a little something to know.
Now, with Impact, we kind of know him as this player that tends to be aggressive. He likes to get in there and do damage, which seems to be exactly what Stats wants to play against. But you think he could mix up his style enough to maybe punish a very conservative Protoss player?
I think it's hard. I think it's really difficult. How do you win if they deflect all of your aggressive moves? It's a stylistic mismatch. Impact is better than games against Stats would lead you to believe. We saw, right now Stats is 8-2 against him in matches.
Yeah.
Right? And that just makes sense, because there's certain styles that are very good against different styles. And the thing is, Stats is a better player as well.
Yeah.
But also he literally has a style that fights well against him, whereas if you put like a more aggressive Protoss up against him, I think Impact's going to have a better time against that,
Yeah.
Put Impact against Zest, who knows what's going to happen?
No, I think, for example, Impact can possibly take Zest.
It's possible. Zest is better, but it's a better matchup for him, for sure.
Yeah. I've always found, the hardest people to play against are the ones that are just very good at reacting and stopping everything. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like,
you have to outpower someone like that. You have to show better mechanics than someone like that.
Yeah.
And that can be difficult, because these players get so good at that. But yeah, it's very much a stylistic thing, and I think that it kind of speaks to people's strengths and weaknesses, what they find hard to play against. All right, a couple drones killed.
And so far, so good here. I mean, Stats doing some decent damage. Looks like he's going to get a third.
Oh, just barely.
Unfortunately, that drone disappears before it becomes an extractor.
Yeah.
And so now we've got the War Prism coming here. And it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a depth pressure to start things off, as the Zerg is now throwing down the Roach Roaring.
Yeah. Stats is adding a gas behind this. So I think he'll continue to tech up a little bit, maybe start getting some sentries out for a follow-up push. Layers on the way, as well as the Roach Warren.
So we have that War Prism moving across the map now. And let's see how many drone kills we get here, because we've had a lot of really nice plays. But first, it's going to be some pressure here at the front. This is pretty much your run-of-the-mill adept pressure play here. Now, the key is with this for the Zerg is that you need to have enough lings to catch the depths when they get up the ramp, and in this case, he doesn't have that. And so this is where the damage really starts to mount. Basically, he's breached the defenses here, and there's going to be a lot of drone kills. Already 4 killed, but again, I worry that the Zerg is stretched too thin here. There's like, what, 2 roaches there and nothing to defend that?
Oh,
Meanwhile,
man.
he's continuing to shade around. I mean, this could actually snowball.
No, this is already snowballing. Look at this, 11 drones already killed, and more are going to go down now. Finishes the shade in the main base.
That's it.
GG, that was
just
a quick
completely face smashed. Whoa.
Yeah.
That was like...
Damn.
I think
he
our
doesn't need
quickest
you
game.
to expand your third first.
Yeah.
Just kill you either way. Stats just
He took
hulking
his lunch
through.
money back there.
Impact bought Stats lunch and he liked it.
And he liked it.
Yeah. That's how owned he was.
I mean, that's, I think, a really bad sign there. That looked like it was a mismatch on ladder. Where it's like, oh yeah, you're going to get out of this rank pretty soon, Stats. Don't worry. You won't be playing against these players for that long.
Yeah.
I promise you, BattleNet will eventually promote you to the next rank, and you won't be playing these kind of guys. Golden Wall. We already saw a pretty strong game from Impact this time around. What does Stats have in store here? He's very good at planning. I'm excited. Let's see if Impact can turn this around. Right now, not looking good. Stats looking very strong.
All right. Golden Wall. Let's see what you have, Stats. Impact took down Astrea, so we already know what he likes to do.
Yeah.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해볼까? 팀 LP 임팩트 김준혁. 아프리카 프렉스 스태츠 김대영.
What was that little giggle?
Just watching the probe look around.
I wasn't looking at you, but you have a little nose giggle is what I call it.
do have a little nose giggle.
Breathe out of your nose pretty fast.
Yeah. You might find something a little bit humorous.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I think that this is a really cool move from Impact.
Because he's not going for the gold?
Yes. He's changed up his play because, like, Stats, there's no question that Stats was watching Astrea versus Impact. And he saw what Impact wanted to do. He let Golden Wall through, and again, he chose it. There was the macro map, and there was the map that he just beat Astrea on taking the gold base.
Yeah.
And Stats was like, give me that one. Right?
Yeah.
So Stats obviously looked at that and said, I know how to crush this.
Yeah.
So Impact's like, I'm not doing it. Too bad.
When you really think about it, neener. I want to point out, like, it's really crazy what you have to go through to get out of a group in GSL.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I mean, the fact that you might have to rematch a player you already played, he might have beaten you, or you might have beaten him.
That happens a lot.
You know, or you know, the fact that all the games are out there. It's not like we, sequester the players that aren't playing so they can't see the games. We have in the green room, we have a TV where they can watch the show, just like people at home are watching.
Yeah.
Which gives them the opportunity to do some of their own research in time, or if they have coaches here or friends here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. So it's cool to see that, like, a move like this for Stats is not just playing StarCraft 2, he's playing the group. And he's saying, all right, let's get this map here again. I know how to beat that. And Impact, I think it's the right idea. He's going to do something different, but how good is he at this new thing he's going to try?
Yeah. Well, it's probably not that new, right? Like, I mean, Impact plays a lot of games. I'm sure he has a good idea of what he's going to pull off here.
Yeah.
I don't, though. I have no idea what his plan is. Like, do you just play this as a normal map? All right, another Glaives build. I was hoping for more Stats.
I think
more than just Glaive's builds.
So you know what it might be, dude. He might just look at this and say, "I can just beat him with this."
Yeah.
Why would I show more of my strats? I have other players I'm gonna have to play. Obviously, many more of them Zerg. You know, for instance, we saw Dark in that one game where he threw the hatcher down at the entrance, and Stats somehow barely came back and won, and probably the best game of the day here. Like, that's Dark saying, all right, I've got so many different builds. Let's pull this one out. He probably thought he was guaranteed to beat Stats with it, and then just move on. You know? But you can have the reverse happen where you say, actually, let's get all the crazy stuff. Let's keep that hidden. There's harder opponents I have to face off against, coming from Stats' perspective. And he says, maybe I can just, you know,
use the basics to beat this guy.
Yeah, use the basics to beat this guy.
All right, Glaive's going to be finishing up as he gets over there. Fourth gate as well. A lot of links being made right now. We're going to be at 7 Adepts. He did force in that one Adept Warp in back at the home base of Stats, so that was kind of a useful thing. A little bit of sloppiness from Stats. Maybe he was back macro during that.
He ate a little bit too much damage, and also this is enough lings that you don't want to just, you know, go for it.
No, certainly.
In the last game, it was like 4 lings were at the ramp, and it's that is the death sentence, you know?
Ooh, a sentry's being warped in. Does he have it in the prism?
I think so.
Or is it back at home?
No, it's not in
it's
there.
back at home. All right, so he's just kind of macroing up at home. A little bit of a continuation with that. Look at this, 44 probes against 37 drones. Doing a good job forcing him into making lots of units. There's quite a few adepts. Well, he's going to finish that for sure.
Yeah, and this one is now on the loose inside the main. Again, same idea. Even this angle, not great for the lings to try to fight against these adepts. The adepts have very good surface area.
Yeah.
And actually, they shade in here. More drones are going to bite the dust. Queens and Roaches here to defend. A few great transfuses go down, but ultimately, that Queen is killed off as well. And here we're going to see the shade back out. Wow.
7 drones so far.
Oh, hold on.
It's going to
get a lot worse.
Worse.
I guess Stats might just win this with really good adept play.
Yeah, he might. Oh my god, that is just way too many. He has the Dark Shrine coming up behind as well. 19 drones killed. Oh, he makes the Dark Shrine directly under the override.
I don't think he cares.
It's still useful. Okay.
You know, element of surprise does help, but he says not this game, Taser.
Hey, I found Alpha Star. All right.
Okay, I actually think we're about to see the end here. This is
I
just
think this
too
is
much.
over, man. There's nothing left for Impact.
The remainder of all the drones are here, and this is going to be another massacre. GG.
Okay. That was
Stats, bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah, he really outclassed Impact in those games. Stats just smashing through him. It looked like a mismatch, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we got the 2 people out of the group. Everyone was expecting Dark in first place, Stats in second.
Right.
It was a good day, though. A really fun day. Astrea Dark Game 2 was amazing. Dark Stats Game 2 was awesome.
Right.
Yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff today, actually. A lot of good games.
It was a good day.
The build that Astrea used Game 2 against Impact, or Game 1, was super cool.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was fun.
We got an interview now. Stats looking very happy. We'll be throwing it to Gary, and Andy will
프로의
translate.
2위 진출자
Okay, we're going to have an interview with the
김대학
second
선수
winner of Group
만나보겠습니다.
B.
축하드립니다.
Congratulations, thank you.
네, 먼저 16강 진출 소감부터 들어볼게요.
How do you feel right now, Stats?
일단
first of all,
저번 시즌 때 좀 16강에서 좀 아쉽게
last
떨어져가지고
season I've shown some disappointing performance in the round of 16. So in this season too, I've tried harder, and I want to be in the finals again.
다시 팬분들께 보여드리고 싶고
And I want to repay to my fans
사실 좀 1등 진출을 노리고 있었어요.
Honestly, I came here expecting to move on as the first place, but Dark was just so strong, so it was a little disappointing, but I'm glad that I moved on.
네, 박용 선수 이야기를 하셔서
So talking about Dark,
승자전부터 이야기를 해보겠습니다.
let's talk about the winners match first.
오늘 2세트에서 전진 부하장
In the second game, you fended off the proxy hatchery and managed to win the game, and that game was unforgettable. So in Dark's interview, he said that strategy gets blocked once in 10 times, and you were able to achieve that. Stats.
김대엽 선수는 10판 당하시면 10판 다 막으시나요?
So Stats, are you confident to block that one 10 times?
저도
10 times.
이런 전략적인 거는 처음 당해가지고.
Well, that was my first time.
솔직히 좀 해처리를 왜 막나
approaching
했어요.
the strategy.
아,
So I at
아니,
first
이렇게
I didn't know why he was building a hatchery over there.
되게 고마운 상황.
So I thought it would be a situation where I'm on the high ground.
했었는데 갑자기 게이트웨이가 깨지더라고요.
But then my
그래서
gateway exploded.
좀 머릿속이 좀 하얘졌었는데.
And then my brain just went white.
좀 어떻게 해서든지 좀 이기려고 좀 많이.
And then from then I just tried to
열심히 노력을 했는데
win as much as possible.
이겼던 것 같고 만약에 똑같은 상황이 10번은 좀 10번에서
And
10번
if
다
the
이기는
same
건 좀
situation
힘들고
occurred 10
10번에서
times,
절반은 이기도
I probably can win
그런
50%
상황은
of the
처음
situation.
있었다니 그 와중에도 좋은 판단과 좋은
In the
센스를
meantime, you've shown
보여주셨다는 게
great
정말
performance
대단하신 것
and
같습니다.
great sense of
자,
the game.
오늘 김준혁 선수를 2번 잡고
You defeated Impact twice,
올라가셨거든요.
and now you move on to
오늘
second place.
보니까 김대엽 선수도 그러셨고요.
So watching
최근에
today,
프로토스 선수들이 저그전에서 공명사도를 많이
a lot of
활용을
the Protoss
하시는
players are actually
모습이거든요.
going for the depth
어떤
in the
점에서
PvZ
이렇게
matchup.
공명사도를 다시금 많이 선택하시는지
So why are so many
궁금하네요.
Protoss players going for the
일단
depth?
저그가 좀 대처를 완벽하게 하지 못하면은
Well, if
공명사도
Zergs
빌드가
can't fend
굉장히
off the
강력한 빌드예요.
adapt build,
이렇게
you know,
찌르면서
adapt build can be really scary.
수 있는 그런 빌드여가지고 제가 많이 사용을 했고요.
So I use that a lot.
그리고 또 우주 관문을 했을 때 좀 아무래도 경기 이기는 게 많이 힘들기 때문에.
And you know, it's really hard to win by going for Stargate.
황혼의 로보 공명사도 빌드를 많이.
So I do use a lot of the Roblox facility
자,
and adapt build.
저희 메인 작가님 통신인데요. 오늘 방송을 보시던 어유수 선수가 또 이제 최근에 패치가 있잖아요.
So Sue, who's been watching your
한
stream
말씀을
today,
하셨다고 합니다.
he
이번
commented
배터리 패치는 김대엽 선수가 최대 수혜자다.
this battery patch, the shield battery
그러자
patch,
반응이
Stats is the main beneficiary of this
김대엽
patch.
전용 패치다.
And that's what Sue said.
김대엽을 위한 패치다.
It's a patch
이런 반응이 나왔다고
specifically
하는데요.
for Stats.
아 그럴까요? 이제 다시 김대엽 선수의 시대가 온
And I feel
걸까요?
like Stats' age is coming back. What do you think?
좀 배터리 이렇게 패치돼가지고.
Well, the battery
소비하는데
just got
여러모로
patched and
도움이 크게 된
it's
점은
very
사실이에요.
useful
근데
when defending.
사실 좀 테란전이나 프로토스전에 좀 영향이 되게 큰 것 같지.
But I think
저그전 같은 경우는
it's really it's really effective in the PvT and the PvP, but it's not as much in PvC.
네, 좀 수비적인 좀 프로토스를 위한 패치인
But yeah, I do agree that it's quite useful in defense.
프로토스와 테란전엔 도움이 된다. 지난 시즌은 테란 때문에 사실 슬펐거든요.
Last season, you were bogged down by
전태환
Terran.
선수와 김도욱 선수
You lost to TY and Cure, the finalists of last season.
그렇다면 현재 테란전도 좀 변화가 있으신가요?
So do you think there's a change in the PvT matchup right now?
그 보호막 배터리 그 충전소 때문에 그 테란이 좀 빌드 가짓수가 굉장히 좀 많았었는데.
Well, due to the shield battery, initially the Terrans had a lot of builds at their disposal, but it definitely did decrease due to the shield battery.
그렇지만 좀 아직도 프로토스가.
But nevertheless,
정해져 있다고
there are only a few builds the Protoss can go for.
운영 싸움인 것 같아요.
So I think in the end it's just a macro fight.
앞서서 이번 시즌은 잘 해보고 싶다 말씀을 하셨었는데요. 마지막으로
So
한마디
Stats,
들어보겠습니다.
anything you want to say before you go?
일단 좀 오랜만에 GSL에 와서 경기하고.
Well, it's a GSL match in a long time,
너무 기쁘고.
and I'm happy to have shown a good performance today.
좀 어떻게 보면은 영호하고의 경기도 제가
In the winners match,
있었던
you know, I probably could have defeated Dark, but I did make some trivial mistakes.
그런 부분들 잘.
So I'm going to have to fix on that.
다음 16강 경기 때는 좋은 모습.
And in the next round of 16 match, I'll try to show a better performance. Once again, congratulations, Stats. Thank you.
네, 이렇게 김대엽
Thank you,
선수
Annie. Good job
만나봤는데요.
translating.
오늘 경기 최종 정리까지 확인해 보겠습니다.
We have another survivor here. Sats, I look forward to seeing him go on into the round of 16. Let's not forget he was taken out pretty early in season 1, so we didn't get to see that much of him.
Yeah. you know, hopefully he gets really deep this season. I think it's more exciting when Stats is one of the best Protoss in the world. Well, you get that kind of macro perspective.
I love, you know, I love crazy games, right? And I love one of the things about Protoss, excuse me, one of the things about Protoss I really like is how cool and aggressive you can be, but it's also really good to have someone who's so solid in here as well and does late game. Guys, we're going to be back on Saturday at 1 p.m. KST. You don't want to miss this. Solar Super, Tasia, and Rogue.
Yeah, a couple blasts from the past there and two very modern top Zergs. I think it's definitely Solar and Rogue favored, but Tasia put up a pretty darn good fight against Dark last season.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed we'll see him do something.
Yeah, Tasia looked really good.
Yeah, as far as Super goes, I've heard that his PvP is really strong and sharp right now. I haven't heard too much about his other matchups, and I haven't really seen any of his games, so I'm not sure what to expect, but in a group like this, I'm not expecting much.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he's one of our players that probably squeaked into the round of 24.
Maybe.
He's like, you know, the extra guy in the Star Trek, you know,
in this group, with
7K
Zerg Solar and just champion of every tournament on Earth Rogue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
I imagine we're going to have two Zergs advancing, but maybe not. I don't know.
Well, I'd love to see Tasia make some upsets. I think that would be just amazingly awesome.
That would be so special if that happens in our tournament, if he gets to the round of 16. Again, some of these guys are coming back from their military service, and, you know, there's nothing now to stop them from just continuing to pro game.
They love
as
to
they
pro
say.
game.
No, but seriously, it's very cool to have him back. And what's nice as well is that he actually looks like a good modern player. Sometimes we have old players come back and they look good, but they look exactly like how they were good in that version of StarCraft that they dominated in.
Yeah, and a lot of those players quit already, but we have some of them really rising up. DRG's looking great. Tasia's looking great. I thought Bomber was looking pretty good as well, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited about these players being back. Obviously, you know, Parting, he hasn't done military service yet, but he had a long retirement. Top 4, man. Like,
I know.
These players, they can leave for quite a while and come back strong.
Yeah. So today was great. It's too bad Astrea didn't move on. He looked really good, though.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him against Stats if he could have held that last game. That was I think he's going to be beating himself up over that Golden Wall game.
You know, considering how interesting the PVZs were, I would love to see what he had planned for PvP. Because he came in here with so many different approaches to the matchup and really executed it well. Even the first game we saw of him, where he had the Sentry and the Warp Prism.
Yeah,
that was cool. It was cool. That's all the time we have, guys. Thank you for joining us. We love you. Take care. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. Bye-bye.
Called you up in the early morning light, 'cause something didn't sit right.